George, and this is That Geek Show, the show where we talk about the latest and greatest from the worlds of collecting, movies, video games, TV, and tech. Good evening, Geek Nation. I'm George, and this is That Geek Show, the show where we talk about the latest and greatest from the worlds of...
Bro, your mic is still not muted. You're not muted, I can still hear you, dude.
Kill me, man. Who's not muted? Good evening, Geek Nation. I'm George. That Geek Show. The show we talk about the latest and greatest from the world of tech. Alright, so now I'm going to do this shit for real. Good evening, Geek Nation. I'm George, and this is That Geek Show, the show where we talk about the latest and greatest from the world of collecting, movies, video game, TV, and tech. And with me, as always, to break all this stuff down is my brother from another mother, Calvin, the Statue Fanatic. What's up, bro?
I love this show. I love this show.
I always got to fuck up something, right? Dude, I had this shit on mute. I had that shit on mute.
You were never muted. We could hear everything you did, every key click or whatever. You weren't muted.
Yeah, well, shit happens. All right, how you doing, Calvin?
What's up, man? How's it going? Welcome back. How was Disney? Great?
Disney was awesome, dude. I got a little bit tipsy, had some crazy-ass kids driving around me, and Seth, as always.
We're going to get to that, I'm sure.
Yeah. It was pretty nuts. So I'll tell you all about it in a few minutes. So also with me, coming back from Disney, my buddy Seth. What's up, Seth?
Your buddy Self.
Self.
Hey, everybody, I'm Self.
He's not even drinking.
Clearly, you're still hungover from Disney. You're still hungover from Disney, bro, and it's okay. We get it. We appreciate it. Have a little bit more to drink while you're at it.
This is an indication of how awesome this show is going to be today.
All right. Let me go ahead and start this off right. Good evening, MCE, or good MCE people.
Hey. I don't go starting your beginning. All right. Let me do my beginning. Hey.
Go home. You're drunk. Go home.
I ain't drunk. All right.
What's popping, everybody?
What's up?
And making his triumphant return, we have Captain Puerto Rico, Eric. What's up, buddy?
Oh my God! Look at it this way. At least you're gonna have a blooper reel that you can add to this video at the end, right?
I know. I can't wait. I can't wait to do that one. My bloopers have been getting good, man. I think I enjoyed the bloopers more than anything else. Did you catch my Boba Fett video?
I did. I like that. I like that.
Tell me you didn't laugh, bro. I laughed.
I also like the music. I liked everything. It was really good. I feel like when you do your Star Wars videos, that's when it gets nuts.
That's my stuff right there, man.
He is a pretty avid Star Wars guy, so you would hope that he would put more effort into that.
He puts effort into everything. I'm just saying he gets a little extra crazy here.
And that's why my vote now is for Eric to win the Captain America statue.
Woo! You vote for him.
Wow, he just drew some lines, man. Some battle lines.
No, that's cool though because that's cool though because you know what, the dude disappears for 2 weeks because he's afraid. He's afraid of seeing me. It's cool. I get it.
You know what? Hey, George, we got other people to talk.
Hey, we got this juice. All right, and then bring it on for the first time. This is our latest member. She is known as the Ass Kikin Unicorn on Twitch. Man, I'm totally fucking up these intros. The sweet, sensational Ariel. Hi, Ariel. How are you?
Hi. Hello, everyone.
Thank you for joining us.
Today?
Thank you for joining the team.
Let's give Ariel a big MCE welcome. Hi, Ariel.
Hey. Howdy.
I am 27. Gonna be 28 soon. Actually, this week.
Cool. I didn't ask that. I said howdy.
Oh.
I was like, that's random.
I was like, that was so random. I'm like, okay.
Shit,
I'm 34. I like to go on walks on the beach.
And special guest today, we have Sergeant Funko in the house. What's up, Sarge?
What's up? Oh my God, man. I can't wait for the rest of the show. If this is how you started off, this is amazing.
Yeah, kicking off.
And we got 50 people watching already.
We got 50 people already?
I saw everything.
It wouldn't be a typical MCE production if there wasn't any technical mishaps in the beginning.
I'm serious. I actually think that gets us hype, more energy, man.
It's when things go good that start just get sour, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So Sarge, man, you're the guest today, bro. So how are you, man? How you doing, man?
I'm great, man. Thank you for having me. I've been trying to get on here for a while, so it's good to be here.
Yeah, dude. I met Sarge in Orlando when we went hunting for the Haunted Mansion pop, which was crazy. So I know, man. You and your buddy Joe, and
Joe was there. Yeah,
you guys are awesome. So tell us, man, how long you've been collecting. Tell us a little about yourself. Let everybody know who you are.
Yeah, sure. Started collecting like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Once I saw that Batman, my first pop was the Batman Arkham Knight. Once I saw that, it was a done deal. I think I went from having no pops, and then in a week I had 30. So like, it was freaking nuts. And from there, now I have like over 800 now.
Damn.
Yeah. And I've been cutting my collection too.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And then one day I just decided to start the channel, and it's been a ride since. I've met a bunch of people through this. I met Seth because of the freaking thing, and then I met Seth. That's what I love. This community is freaking awesome. So,
George, can you imagine having 800 statues?
No, I would. If I had 800 statues, I wouldn't be living at home with my wife.
You can make a little house out of the boxes, though.
I could make it out of the 20 that I have right now, though. The freaking boxes are huge. In fact, the one for Darkseid's big enough that I could fit half my body in it.
That's such a big statue, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. Hey, Sarge, are you from Florida originally?
No, I'm not. I'm from New Jersey.
It sounds like it. It sounds like it, man.
Does it? Okay. Yeah. Whatever, man. Yeah. I'm from New Jersey, and then the military moved me all over, and I ended up getting my bachelor's in Florida and my master's, and I just stayed here.
Well, thank you for your service, man.
Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. So let's.
I thank him for his service all the time whenever we go hunting.
You're an idiot, bro.
I don't even want to know what you mean by that, bro.
Doing your duty.
Always have to go to a dark place.
Yeah,
Your
always
dude.
takes it there, bro.
No. Susan helps him with
Susan,
that.
I love you, Susan, if you're watching tonight.
I always see that end clip, man, when you guys get out of the car together. So don't know what happened before. Don't know what happened.
They got us figured out, Seth.
Son of a bitch.
So we got 54 people in the chat right now. A lot of people here, man. I got to show some of these. Lazy Lover is in the house.
Lazy
All
Lover.
right, yeah, man. Who's in the chat? Seth, you're good at that, man. Who we got in the chat?
Jason
We got Optimus Cubano,
Oh,
or as I like to call him, Optimus Retardo.
Rudy.
Rudy. He's like our mascot of our little hunting group. So
Love you, Rudy.
yeah, he's a cool dude. We got John. We got the Gambit. We've got Gabriel Gutierrez. We've got Lazy Lover, Junior Statue Collector. We've got Ray Reyes.
Ray.
We've got Diego Hernandez. We've got Joe Latour II. We got Vic. We got Dark Mufasa.
Mufasa. Say it again.
Wait, no Pinche Borracho? He's like in every show.
Yeah, we
where's
got
Pinche?
Pinche. Yep, Pinche's here. We got Pinche.
Okay.
We also have What's Popping's #1 fan, Tatiana.
What's up, Tatiana?
We've got Jason Wilkerson. We've got Roy. We've got Felipe. Man, we even got Calvin in the chat, and Calvin's on the show.
It's amazing. It's omnipresent.
You guys.
So, if any of you decide that you guys want to see whatever you want to write onto the screen, and you guys want to donate, you can do that, and then this little thing will happen. So just letting you guys know that that's there, and you can put whatever comment you want, and we'll get to see it right on the screen. So,
All right, I just have to say this real fast. It's just hilarious. So Ray Reyes is saying that he can hear the ocean in his
I
necklace.
saw that comment.
the ocean's in his necklace.
So
Moana.
Optimus. So I'll let Sarge tell it. Go
All
ahead.
right, go.
Rudy wears a Moana necklace. It's the greatest thing ever.
A Moana necklace.
Oh, the one with the hook? The one at the rock?
No, just a shell neck. Just a shell neck.
Oh.
Oh, like a cowrie necklace.
It's the droppings of all of his victims.
Oh, man.
Oh man,
Oh, man.
I love Moana. Moana's a great
I love
movie.
that movie.
Don't ruin Moana for me, okay, bro?
You're welcome.
All the internet will do that for you.
Right? Moana's the
Rule
shit.
30. Was it rule number 36?
So George, I don't want to steal your thunder or anything, but I
34.
think a lot of people want to know about this lovely lady we have on our chat today.
Yes. Ariel, tell us about yourself. Tell us all about your show. Tell us everything you do.
Well, I just started Twitch streaming, and right now I'm just trying to get more into indie gaming because I've been gaming since I was a kid. So there have been first games probably would have been Duke Nukem, Doom, then being kicked off the computer so then they can play Duke Nukem and Doom. So my mom actually introduced me to gaming. So she was always playing Doom. And so I've been really big into RPG, been a fan of like Coder and all the Bioware games like Jade Empire, things like that. And with Twitch, I've just started. So I recently did Subnautica. And I'm trying to do Visage right now, or Visage, whatever the way you pronounce it. It's French. And, putting myself out there with different games because I've usually just with RPGs and or especially like Fallout, things like that, and Elder Scrolls. So, yeah, it's been fun, and I've been doing it every day, or consistently, and I definitely like interacting with my chat. So that's cool.
That's cool.
Is it true? I thought I heard this early. Ass Kikin Unicorn.
That's it.
Yes, I am the Ass Kikin Unicorn because I love unicorns, and everything is whole rainbows. Rainbows everywhere.
I love unicorns too. They're so magical.
Rainbows and blood.
Yes. Actually, this was probably TMI, but I actually have an underwear that's.
Whoa, it's a kids show. Come on, guys.
We have MCE evenings where you can talk about that.
That's the 9 o'clock hour. You've got another 50-something minutes before that.
Before you go, then you can let us know all about your underwear.
It's basically a unicorn with machine guns.
So did we just get a female version of Seth on the show?
Hey, man, that works.
That's right. You are correct, sir.
Oh my lord.
That is hilarious.
This is great. I am not the only foul-mouthed person or that says inappropriate things on this show.
Oh no,
anymore.
like Twitch,
Thank you.
I automatically, the first thing I did was put mature audience. I was like, only mature audience. Especially if it's a horror game and I'm freaking out. I'm like, I'm gonna be throwing F-bombs and whatever color bomb you want to throw at the screen. It's like, so.
I love it. I love
Actually,
it.
I sat through and watched her for
yeah.
like 45 minutes the other night. Actually, my wife and I did, and we had a blast. It was funny. So you guys should definitely check out the channel. It's good. Definitely entertaining. So that's cool. Yeah. So you definitely got to check out the channel. We're going to be talking about some of those games that she's playing later on in the show. We got a whole video game segment now, which is great. Been wanting to have that on the show, so that's cool.
Yeah.
So let's kick it off. We start off first with collecting, since majority of the people here usually are into the collecting stuff. Why don't we go with some Funko stuff, man? You got this one,
Seth.
Funko. Yeah, because I know you've been wanting to get into talking about Pops, and now that you got your boy on the show, you got
What up?
Double the Funko magic here.
A little bit of Funko. Let's shed a little bit of Funko magic for everyone.
Here, Seth. Here's CM Punk. Let him inspire you.
Dude, why do you gotta keep doing that, man? Come on, dude. God, guy gets lucky on a trip to Arizona and finds a freaking Hot Topic pink tight CM Punk. All of a sudden.
You wanted to say hi.
Yeah, I know. He wanted to say hi. So as far as Funko stuff goes, I think the diehard pops are starting to hit the stores now. The Joker Hush Pop is starting to hit. I know George is anxiously waiting to get his because he constantly reminds me of it every day.
Yeah, man, this is ridiculous, dude. I mean, I can't believe you told me it was going to be at the end of last month.
Well, they pushed it back.
Obviously.
So
I want my pop.
We all want pops. This Friday in California they have the Diamond Edition Abominable Snowman coming out in Disneyland. And then Friday at Pin Traders at Disney in Orlando, they're going to have the Diamond Edition Orange Bird. And then Saturday, they are going to be also releasing the Pirates of the Caribbean pop at Disney or in Orlando too.
Yeah, maybe make the drive for that.
Which sucks because it's my anniversary on Saturday, and I was basically sentenced to death if I go. So
hey, Sarge, do you hunt as much as Seth does?
I hunt, I think, every day, mostly every day.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
People don't understand how many hours. I mean, you guys do. People that watch don't understand how many hours it takes to actually do all that crap, driving around, and it takes like a full day. Sometimes it feels like a full-time job. So I'd say at least like 4 times in a week, not counting the weekend, I go out and I look for stuff.
Shit.
Yeah, we're always on the hunt. We're always messaging each other about stuff that someone else is trying to find. I see stuff that he wants, and and then I message him, and then and then vice versa. He messages me, and we try to help. We try to help each other out.
True.
And like what Sarge was saying. It's a community, and that's what it's about. Is just helping one another out. So
what would you say is your grail piece, Sarge? Or the one that you got right now that's just like
I have right now, yeah. So the CM Punk, obviously, because he's like my favorite wrestler, but these 2 Simpson characters, I grew up watching that show. Every time after school, I came and I was in front of the TV and I was watching The Simpsons at 7 to 7:30. So now I'm looking for the other 2, but those definitely are like, I never thought I would own them because there's so much money. Mm-hmm. So now that I own 2, it's really freaking dope.
Nice.
Yeah.
My 2 favorite is Jay and Silent Bob. Now that I got those, I'm pretty happy about that.
I got lucky, man. I got lucky with Jay. I found them on my way back from Tampa. I found the Jay, but I haven't seen the Silent Bob.
They have Jay and Silent Bob pops?
They got Jay and Silent Bob pops. Yo.
I got
they have a pop of everything.
Yeah, I got my Jay and Silent Bob sitting above my computer on my shelf right now.
Yeah,
just the way she said that, you've just got another pop collector.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a little collection, but it's mostly gifts to my boyfriend.
They
a
even
lot of
have
it's Fallout.
Yeah, Kevin Smith too.
Oh, they do. I want
Sergeant,
it.
I saw this Batman Who Laughs. I have been so obsessed
Oh
with this
my God.
ever since San Diego, and now he's getting his own comic series.
Yep.
His #1 issue coming out this year, man. That pop looks amazing.
I want it. I didn't even see that coming because I've always wanted a new 52 Joker as a pop with his face kind of like coming off or whatever. So I didn't even know they were gonna make a laughing Batman or like Batman that smiles or whatever. So I really want that pop. That and the Constantine looks really cool.
Yeah. Damn you, Seth.
Listen, listen. That's what happens. That's why they say once you pop, you can't stop.
All right, Pringles.
Just saying.
Until the car declines.
Listen, you can do what I
That's exactly
do.
right.
You can look up to the sky and blame the pop gods for
Pop
that.
gods. I still got to come up with them shirts, man.
Yeah, we got to make pop god shirts.
But
Definitely.
freaking Funko, man. Freaking Funko. Once you think you're done, like they come out with something new.
Forget
I
about
didn't
it.
know they were doing that cereal line with the Count Chocula again. And then like Seth, you sent me the freaking text and I was like, what the hell? Here's $50 I'm spending today.
Yep.
Freaking text.
Hey, I'm happy though. I got my shipping notification
Yeah,
today.
me too. That made me freaking.
I'm good.
happy.
But poor Joe's one of the victims who got stuck in line that couldn't check out. So
Yeah.
Before we went live, you guys were talking about this Jim Lee Joker poster. I'm looking at Lazy Lover got his. Why can't you guys pick up yours? Is it that rare? What's
Pop
up?
figure?
They have it at Sawgrass.
They already have. I've been waiting for our GameStop to get it because we
well, they're
pre-ordered
supposed
it
to ship. Did you have it shipped to your house or did you just pre-order it at a GameStop?
No, I pre-ordered it at a GameStop. I'm waiting for them to call me and let me know.
Then they probably haven't gotten it in yet. Then
Yeah. So.
that's the thing with pops. As far as like Target goes and Walmart and all those other places, they just show up sporadically. It's not like everybody gets everything at the same time. The stuff to the shows just randomly shows up at different stores, and then of course everybody's in a mad dash to try to go get it. And then there's guys like me and Sarge who just kind of sit back and we go when we can, and if we get lucky, we get lucky. If we don't, you know what? We're fortunate enough to where we've got fans that send us stuff because we've got the best fans.
That's another thing, man. The community is nuts. That Bart Simpson that you guys see, he's worth like $300. That was a subscriber. I didn't buy that. That's
awesome.
freaking nuts. Yeah.
That's awesome. Man. It's nice of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
So earlier when we were talking, you said that you couldn't get into statues. Is it mostly because just the price, or because you just don't have the space?
The money, maybe the space too. Because right now I'm trying to find a place. Like I have a lot of stuff in shipment. I'm trying to move out, so. Yeah, I have a bunch of stuff here, but I have more. I have like 800 pops, like I told you guys, over 800. So the statues, I don't know where I would put them, and the money, man, the detail. I want to collect statues. Not that I don't want to, but I'm definitely not getting into it. The detail that the statues have, I see your statues right here, and I see Calvin statues. They're freaking nuts. I want them, but it's just no. Now stay away from me. Like I'm shunning you away. Black hole, get away. No.
You see that Captain America one that's up there? That's like in the top left. That one's supposed to be coming home with me in a couple of weeks.
No.
We still got to make that competition.
What's it going to be? Is it going to be a trivia? Is it going to be?
I don't know why we keep talking about a competition. It's not going to be a competition. It's just going to be a straight murder.
Wow.
Just sneak into the window and take it.
Damn.
Sneak into the window. Good luck.
Better put locks now.
Yeah. Good luck for me to try to sneak into that window. I can barely even walk.
Captain America trivia. If you're not scared, let's go.
Yeah, I can barely even stand on my two bad knees. You want me to scale the side of his house?
There's ladders.
Yeah, clearly we know what happens when I stand on ladders. I fall off and I go through closet doors.
Yeah, man. We gotta get that going though. But I want to do it like 3 parts to make it kind of even. So we're gonna have a physical competition, a video game competition. Yeah, so you have a physical competition, a video game competition, and a trivia.
Physical. What are you guys gonna do for the physical?
Oh god, mud wrestle probably. I don't know.
Yeah, I was all for the mud wrestling, but everybody was like, "No, we don't want to see Seth mud wrestle."
Trust me. You want to see this?
I'm gonna start promoting it on my channel. Mud wrestling. Seth is mud wrestling.
Hey, real quick. Hey, Roy is in the chat. Hey, he's joining us. I always got to send a shout out to this guy because he's in this weird time zone where it's probably like 2 a.m. or something. There.
He says it's 2 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah, and Jr. Man, what's up, my man? How you doing?
Junior, what's up, buddy? Junior's about to have his next kid, man. Pretty soon now. So that's
Pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah, real soon.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, man. Looking forward to pictures, buddy. Gotta send those pictures.
Archangel saying I started with Pops. It was a gateway drug to statues for me.
I'm telling you that. To me, I always feel like it's a gateway drug. It's like when I started collecting, I had figures from video games. You know, I get the collector's editions, and you get the little statues that are like that big.
Hey, we got a donation
From Eric. Eric is like bribing the judge.
I don't know what's going on, guys. I don't know. That was a man.
Wow.
Captain America. That's what this is.
I guess the squeaky
Here's
wheel
my
gets
friend
the
George
grease.
Washington. That's all.
That's hilarious. So anyway, yeah. So I had these little statues, and then the little statues graduated into slightly bigger ones, and then now they got these big guys. Now I got that big guy. So it just keeps getting bigger. So
My God.
But you know what? It's true. Like economically, it's like I never had statues, and I could never buy statues just because of the price tag, even the smaller ones. And the Funko Pops gave me an avenue. I'm like, okay, I can start collecting things of my favorite characters, and it's affordable. And they're small enough that I can actually make, shelving and line them up and display them even more or better in terms like if you have a small apartment too. It's like
I actually did the math. If I took my entire Funko collection and sold the whole thing, I actually calculated exactly how many statues I could buy with that money. So I can probably buy about 8 statues, decently priced. I'm talking about on the upwards of over 1,000 plus.
jeez.
I could buy about 8. I could buy about anywhere between 8 to 9 statues if I wanted to.
See, I always feel like diversity is cool with the pieces. Like you see a lot of statues behind me, but I have like small statues. I have statues that are funny. I got the Funko Pops. I got 1/5 scale, quarter scale. This thing is almost the size of a 1/3 scale. I like the different size pieces, and I like art on the walls as well. So I don't like trying to collect just one thing because then I feel like I'm just gonna have a lot of the one thing. You know, and
that is what I love about collecting is that you can just collect what you like, whether it's pops or it's gallery statues, large statues. Like you are really into the art, George. That is just, I love this. That's what's cool about this.
George is an equal collecting opportunist.
I am the collector.
He collects statues in all sizes, shapes, and forms.
He don't discriminate.
Nah.
Yeah. I was listening to Parallax, I think, talking on somebody's show the other day. It annoys me too, just like he was saying, when people kind of like have these snooty attitudes about, who collects this, if you collect pops or you collect this or you collect 6 scale. It's like, really? I mean, because we were talking before the show, and all of us started at some place, whether it was comics or Yu-Gi-Oh cards or whether it was playing Magic. Whatever. I mean, it really doesn't matter. That's what I love about this.
Absolutely. So on that note, we're going to talk about some statues now.
No, I'm just kidding.
Whatever. So Sideshow has Spooktacular starting this week, actually tomorrow, I think, or Wednesday. If you guys don't know what Spooktacular is, it's a competition, or not really a competition, but Sideshow has like these games and contests that they pull off throughout the week. So they do things like best costume. I won a contest one time before I actually started doing it. The best costume on a pet. My dog actually won. So got like $25 gift card from.
Didn't you win for the Batman costume?
No, I did not win for the Batman costume.
I thought that was what
damn
we
it,
won
you
for.
should have won. That was pretty awesome.
That's what I thought too, man. They gave it to some dude in who had an ET doll in a bicycle, and then he wore the hoodie and everything. I was like, for real? I was like, that sucks.
Was that Calvin?
No.
We saw that picture. We saw that picture from last week. We saw that picture from last week, which was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love custom contests.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun what they do, and then they also do something where it's like where you get to pick the challenge. I think is how that works, and it's on Twitter that they do it. So you make your own challenge up, and then you have to complete it. And if you complete it, they give you things. So you either get like sideshow points, Hot Toys figures. I think sometimes there's a statue in there, but mostly I think it's Hot Toy figures and 6-scale figures that you're gonna get. So it's cool stuff. I mean, it's fun. Do you guys want to jump in?
I used to do cosplay a lot, not as much anymore, just because of financially. But I love cosplay. I love the actual making of costumes and just the detailing. Like, look at Dragon Con and then San Diego Comic Con and New York Comic Con. All these people doing even characters that are more obscure, more cult, cult fan favorites, and it's really impressive what they do with the technicality and the skill and the materials that they use, just right out of their out of their house.
Yeah, that's what I like about it as well. I mean, I think I had more fun making the costume
for the longest time.
Yeah, I had more fun making the costume than
last week.
He made that dope. He made that dope ass Batman suit. I remember you made the Captain America suit. Remember you made, and then even when you dressed up as what was it? As I like to call it, Latino Jack Sparrow.
Oh my god,
Latino Jack Sparrow, really?
That was like Jack Sparrow.
Is there pictures?
He looked like Jack Sparrow had a super dark tan.
George, pictures, man.
Jack Sparrow had a dark tan. I'll get you some pictures. We actually next week is Halloween, so we'll do like a little Halloween special episode. And I'll bring up some pictures.
So we're gonna dress up for Halloween or what?
We could. I got Spartan helmet.
Don't even go there because you know I'm game for that.
Yeah, I'm down for that, man. If you guys want to do it, we'll show up to the show dressed up.
Yes.
This is Halloween.
Actually, I was thinking about doing.
I know that's your jam, dude. I was watching it last night.
I was thinking about doing something like that for Twitch. Every day do something different, or even makeup artistry.
Hey,
have something on.
I'm sorry for interrupting, guys. Seth.
Yes.
Does Roman Reigns have cancer?
Not that I know of.
He just relinquished his Universal title.
What?
Okay, sorry guys for interrupting. I think he has leukemia.
Oh no shit! Let me go. All right. Well, we'll keep the show going. Sorry to interrupt with wrestling talk.
Sorry, guys. Talking about cosplay, I've always respected the people that make that stuff because I imagine it takes hours. I don't even like months. Months. It's ridiculous, right? Like making the weapons and do you sew your own stuff and all that stuff?
Yeah, I used to, and a lot of hot glue and tape. I remember I did a duo costume. I was Harley Quinn, and my friend was Poison Ivy, and I made her skin gold and green. But for her, she had like a corset and then a mini skirt. So I'm like, okay, that's the base of the costume. Basically, what I did is I went to Michael's, got a bunch of vines of ivy, and then basically I repainted it and touched it up so it looked like she was going from green to red, like she was going into autumn. Yeah. And her hair, I made her a little veil and a crown using twigs and had acorns coming off of it. And
that's really cool. That's dope.
Yeah, it took months because I had to individually glue all the leaves and cascading.
Tatiana.
That's alimony. Oh, that went away too quick. What did that comment say? I have to put that up there a little bit longer.
$2 goes to Seth's alimony, or the rest is for you, George. Thanks for the hard work.
Awesome, I love it.
That's awesome.
Well, people clearly have watched enough of my videos where, especially the Flock Sully, that always seems to make its way up in chat. $2 will go to my alimony because I'm sure after I bring home another round of pops, I'm sure there will be divorce in my near future. Even though Saturday, even though Saturday is my 12th wedding anniversary with my wife.
Wow! Congratulations, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sure there will be divorce in my near future.
Aww, just take her with you.
Yeah.
Calvin, see, that's why I love Calvin so much, because you know what? Calvin will take me in because Calvin has such a loving embrace with me. That he'll take me in.
There's that laugh.
take me in and he'll be like, Seth, you could stay with me, man. And I know you would let me stay with you, Calvin, and that's why I love you, dude.
That's awesome.
I love you too, man.
I would never want to stay with Captain Puerto Rico though, because me and him have to fight to the death.
Oh my god! So apparently he's had leukemia for 11 years.
Yeah,
it was in remission and it came back. So that's
yeah,
like,
it's crazy. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, so it's true.
Sad.
I guess we can't make any more Roman Reigns jokes now, can we? Huh?
I'll have to take him off the distress list, I guess.
Yeah, we can't put him in distress anymore. Whoa, we got $50 from Jason Wilkerson. Holy shit!
Whoa,
Awesome.
Whoa, Jason.
Let's start off with the dollar
I know,
and
Jason.
then make it rain.
Jason, I know.
Thank you.
Jason,
now
like $6.99. I see your shit and raise you $50.
Now check this out. Jason has a YouTube channel.
Yes.
And he has an amazing collection. He has something that I envy. He has from the Underworld, what was it? Lycan and
the Lycan, yeah.
Yes, those statues are just amazing. So check out his channel. Thank you, Jason.
Oh, I have to now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It blows me away.
So, talking about statues, I know I said that I would never go into it, but
Right.
every time I walk into Midtown Comics or like a comic shop that has it, the Red Sun statue, man.
The Red Sun?
Yeah, the Superman.
Oh, yeah. That's a cool one.
Soviet Union flag. I think it looks so freaking dope.
That's a cool one.
That and a Dark Side that I saw, he's like sitting on a throne or something like that.
I haven't seen a Dark Side on a throne.
I think maybe he's
Maybe
standing.
it's
I don't
Thanos.
know.
You're thinking about
Thanos.
Thanos.
No, not Thanos. Don't you dare. Stop. Dare insult me like that.
Wait, hey guys, are there any pop throne figures
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanos.
I have a hot topic of Thanos on the throne.
from
Thanos.
a pop figure?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Seth, cover your ears. Daenerys Targaryen is sitting on a throne.
Oh,
Yes.
So,
Right.
I saw that one. I almost bought that one.
yeah, that's a cool one.
Yeah, that's
Mother
pretty
of
cool.
Dragons, my ass.
She is the mother of dragons. She is my moon and stars.
Yeah. Dragons and
Tell me
titties.
she's gonna stay on that throne.
I can't wait for the next season to come up, man.
Me too, man. Me too. And the spin-offs. I'm ready for the spin-offs too.
I think she's gonna die though.
Nah, I don't see her dying.
I see her.
I see her dying in childbirth.
I can't wait for that reaction when everybody's caught up, right? Everybody,
Oh, I don't watch it, so go.
Oh, okay. If you haven't seen it, then this is way past the spoiler point. But I can't wait to see.
I do watch it. I'm just behind, but I don't care.
I can't wait to see when they
Sure.
get that reaction and they find out that they're family. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's gonna be one
There
of the
you go.
moments like, ooh.
There you go, Calvin. Thanos on the throne.
Oh, I have seen that. I've seen that. I have.
It's like a California raisin on that phone.
He is a happy California raisin.
Big one.
I heard it through the grapevine.
All right.
Yo, so
my God.
they had what were you gonna say?
No, I was just like, oh my God, 30 minutes have already passed.
Yeah,
we
we're
have
having
so
a
much
good
to
time.
talk about.
We're
Oh my
blessed.
God.
So they also came out with a re-release the Hot Toys Hulkbuster. So I put this one on here for Captain Puerto Rico because I know he loves Hot Toys. Even though
I
it's not Captain
do!
America. So check this thing out, dude. Although this thing is huge, I want it. Yo, look at this. Look at the size.
So
of this.
this is the re-release of the $600 figure that got sold out.
$879.
No. This thing is now $1,100.
So hold on a second. I need just some quick clarification. So this was originally released for $600.
$879.
Yes, right.
$879.
Wow.
$800.
And now they're re-releasing it for $1,100.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, one of the things that sold out, and so many people wanted this figure. I mean, it was hugely popular, and the 1/6, what is it? The smaller scale fits inside of that,
That's correct.
right?
Yes.
George.
Yeah.
Right.
That's correct.
I want it as well, but I'm not in any way gonna pay $1,100 for that freaking toy.
So basically,
They're
we sold out of they're flippers. so we sold out of it, and let's go ahead and hashtag Booty Crystal the rest of the hot toy community. Let's jack up the price a few $100s, and let's see who we can get.
That's not fair.
I don't think that's what happened though.
Hey, Eric, what do you say? It's not fair. What are you gonna say?
I'm just saying it was $879 when it came out.
Right.
It sold out. You could get it in the aftermarket for ridiculous prices. It got re-released because it comes now with the attachment
Right.
that the Hulk grabs his arm in that one scene.
Yeah.
But if you already own the original, you can buy that for $250 as an
Exactly.
additional accessory.
Wait, you
So,
could
like,
you could buy an arm, just one arm.
one arm,
for
and I think it comes
$250.
with
But it's big, Seth. I mean, the arm is like this big. I mean, I'm calling it a statue because of the size. That thing is like 20-something inches tall. It has.
You better call it a statue because it's more expensive than any statue that we buy on a regular basis.
I agree,
but
it's got die-cast parts to it, so
it's got points of articulation. You know what I mean? It's just not stationary, and it's the same size.
This is why I'm glad I have backup. I have backup with me tonight.
Light up,
and you can put another one inside of it.
You gotta put another one inside. I totally agree with that.
I had this on pre-order for a while. I had like $600 paid off of it, and then I came to my senses, and I'm like, this is too big.
Listen, I'm glad I got backup tonight because I see Sarge is sitting there and he's like, you know how many pops I could buy for $250?
I can get my headless nerd. I can get my headless nerd.
Hey, in the interest of,
you get headless nerd for that much.
I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but
that people
quality over quantity on that one.
Making sure that people in the chat get heard. Hey, Ronald Stanley saying you guys should do your research before you speak. So obviously there's some people in the chat that know some things about this that we don't. But I think Eric actually clarified that when he said that this is a deluxe piece. I mean, I definitely want to give accurate information, but it's still expensive as hell, and it looks the same to me.
Yeah. It's a re-release of the original with the accessory that you can buy separately together in the one box. Or you can just buy the separate piece for $250 if you already own the original piece. That's,
If you got the space for this and you like that kind of shit, you should buy that. That's all I'm saying. I would buy
and
that.
John just called Seth out and said, you bought a fucking $1,000 pop. What are you complaining about? Hey, Seth, I was on your side for a minute, but that was a really good.
First of all, John has no reason to talk because, the guy is still not here to defend himself about fantasy football. So it's okay.
That is a classic deflection, Seth.
It is.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't deflect.
If you start crap, all right. So I don't know if you want that right now, but he said it at work today. Like if Seth starts talking shit, I'm gonna have to go on. So careful.
I would love for him to come on because then he could get bashed again like he did the last time when he said he didn't like anything from the 80s.
Actually, you know what? That was a fun conversation.
And back to our old to the figure. I guess there are more LED lights according to Candyman. R.I.P.
Yes.
So it is a different figure. I get that, but it's the same figure. I mean, come on, let's be real about it. Nobody would probably buy both of these to have separate figures.
See,
I wouldn't think.
But do you honestly think that the people that bought the original one will really go out and spend that extra $250 for those extra accessories?
Well, yes.
I mean, it depends. If you are a Captain America fan, would you do it if it was Captain America?
Whoa.
No, but I'm just saying, like, you already have an $800 figure, and you're missing the one piece, which was the biggest complaint of this piece when it first was released. They're like, well, where's that iconic scene? How come you can't do that? And it was no word from Hot Toys, and now they finally do it. Of course, you're gonna have people go out and pay the $250 for that piece.
I mean, if you
like completing it,
do you think that it's a reasonable price to offer in terms of $200 for this piece?
It is what it is.
Honestly, I don't think the thing is overpriced for the size of the piece. That thing is
humongous.
humongous.
It is huge. I've seen it in person.
Yes.
I think I saw it when we were in New York at either what's the comic shop downtown, the one that we went to. I can't remember it. Midtown Comics, right? I think I saw it there.
I saw it at San Diego in 2017. That thing is. I wanted to buy it the minute that I saw it, and then I go look on Sideshow and it was gone. Now it's brought back and it's like tempting me again.
Yeah, I'm with Barbara. I would save the space for the Venom because the Venom is probably going to be less expensive, the bust.
Yeah.
How big is this thing?
It's like 21 inches tall.
Huge. It's huge.
It's 21. It's like 21 inches tall. No, it's not taller than you.
It's like a small child. It's like a small child.
It's a small child.
You see how big this thing stands? It's slightly smaller than this.
It's the size of a
small child. I remember seeing Thanos on Throne where somebody took Thanos off and put their kid on it, man. That was pretty epic.
Yeah. I think it's dope.
Oh.
No, it's great. I love it, man. I think it's awesome. I mean, if you want to hand it to me as a gift or something, that's great. I'm totally cool with that.
I'll be like forever in your in your dad.
Exactly, George. What else we got to talk about, man?
XM Studios is about to drop their POs. They haven't had any pre-orders recently since all the cons were going on. So at the end of the month is the first one, and that's going to be Wonder Woman, and then that's followed by the Aquaman, and then followed after that by Deathstroke.
So I pre-ordered the Aquaman at New York. I actually pre-ordered that one.
I am Aquaman.
The Aquaman's cool.
Yeah, I liked it a lot, man. And you can't see it here, but the detail with the fish that are swimming around the bottom, it looks really awesome. So I pre-ordered that to be whenever they're going to release it.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
When you went to Tate's,
do they have a changeable sculpt where they could put Jason Momoa's head on that?
That's the only way you see Aquaman now, right?
Well, dude, I mean, he's the whole reason why Aquaman's, getting that popularity again. I mean, dude, he made Aquaman look like a badass rather than a dude who's like, "Hey, fish, go that way."
I don't know, man.
His comic book.
Aquaman is pretty awesome. New 52
Aquaman is a beast.
Thank you. Look at that. Get set.
Yeah.
Actually, when you
Put
were
all
in
your hate onto me.
when you're in Tate's, I saw in your video that they had a Aquaman and Meera statue, and I was like,
yeah,
if I could have a statue, that's the one I want.
That was actually at Past, Present, Future. But yes, they have the romance statue.
okay.
The romance statue.
Yeah.
They've done quite a few of those romance statues.
Yeah.
There's one with the kiss with Batman and the Hush and Catwoman and the Joker and
Harley Quinn.
Superman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, cool stuff. Nice pieces.
I mean, really quick, since you have Wonder Woman there, I don't know if you guys heard, but it got delayed to 2020. WW84.
Mm-hmm.
Original.
It's because
release.
she's pregnant, right?
Again?
No.
Yeah, with Eric's kid.
Yes, you're right.
Eric got her, man.
Got her.
Heard it right here on TMZ. Right here.
Eric's like, I gave you my seed.
Oh my God.
My dark seed.
May your first child be a masculine child.
All right, and the last statue that came out today actually was the Dark Knight 3 Master Race statue. This is by Prime One Studios. This is a big ass statue, also.
You mentioned that you would love to have this one, so tell me what's the difference between this and the one that you are getting?
The Hush. So this one is based on the older Batman. I actually have the comic that goes with this one, and it's signed by Jim Lee. So that's the only reason why I was like, man, it'd be kind of cool to have this, and then also have the comic book next to it. So it's I just like the pose and everything. It looks cool.
I love it. Look at the texture with the fabric.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Lee did that? That wasn't Frank Miller?
No, Frank Miller was the original writer, and I think the original artist of the first Batman Dark Knight Returns series, I believe.
Yeah.
And then they did the Master Race, and now Jim Lee did covers for the comic. So he wasn't actually the artist for the comic itself. He just did a few of the alternate covers, and I happen to have one of those. So, and I think it would look cool with this piece. And like what Ariel was saying earlier, the texture work in the suit is ridiculous. I mean, there's a lot of crazy detail in this piece. So,
it looks great from this picture, man. It looks amazing.
Well, you saw it at San Diego as well.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
But again,
it was just when I saw it at San Diego, man, I thought, this is a lawn to put outside in your front yard ornament. That thing was huge. Go ahead, Seth. That was your cue.
Sorry, man. I got nothing for you.
That's what she said.
Wow.
Disappointing.
Yeah. Always coming up short in the clutch.
All right. So Roy says he lost us again. Oh well, dang, my bad.
Sorry,
bro.
Roy. Hey, Roy. At least we're not talking about Star Wars, man.
Oh, I was actually about to talk to someone about Star Wars.
So then Roy's totally going to get off now.
Is it our feed or is it something else?
That's what I'm wondering. Is everything going right with the feed, guys? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know what's happening.
Oh,
I have it on the side. I don't have no buffering.
Hey, we got our buddy back, George. Captain Picard is here.
Picard! Just in time for the Star Wars talk.
Make it so.
So the only Star Wars talk that I have is concerning Galaxy's Edge. So let me pull that up here. Found this picture. So check that out.
I saw that earlier. You posted that somewhere.
This thing's dope. So you can see the Falcon's almost finished. This is actually going to be done by next year, 2019. So
when we were at Disney this weekend, we were back over in Toy Story Land. You can actually see part of the buildings being constructed for the Star Wars land, and I'm super excited about this. I can't wait to see where they go with this.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this, and I want to do an MCE. We're going to Star Wars land.
Okay, but Captain Picard just said in the chat, "Screw Star Wars."
Star Trek.
Hey, Picard, what did they find in your lavatory? I believe it was a captain's log.
Says that every time.
Oh my God,
it never gets old.
It doesn't get old. It doesn't. It's a great joke.
Anyway, man, I'm pumped for that. So they're doing. When I heard they're doing like a special pass holder event, where you can go and get the park to all the pass holders. So that should be pretty cool. And then the ride is going to be the Falcon, and they have a couple other things as well in there. So it's going to be dope. I'm excited about it. So I'm definitely going.
Yeah, Sarge is a huge Star Wars guy too. So
I knew I liked him. That's why
I'm definitely down to check that out. I'm also excited for the Nintendo World that they're doing.
Yeah, but that's not at Disney. That's at Universal.
Universal.
Yeah,
Universal.
Yeah, because kids grow up and so should vacations.
True.
Wow.
Wait, what?
Okay. I don't know. I think that was a direct
jab
jab
at
at
me
you,
a little
George.
bit, but okay. Hey man, I go to Disney mostly for the food and the drinking, bro, and then I go for the rides.
All right.
Is that like more expensive?
Speaking to the guy who waited in line for 2.5 hours to go on was it the Flight of the Passage?
Dude, that thing was good. Okay,
that was worth it. That was
worth it. And you miss out on everything, Seth. Because the only thing you're right is it's a small world.
You know why? Because I'm so much bigger in a small world. That's why.
We should plan a trip to Busch Gardens and take Seth.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I got this guy on Star Tours one time, Sarge. This dude. I mean, we got off this thing. The man was sweating like he ran like 9-10 blocks. I couldn't believe how much sweat came off this guy.
So just to clarify again, because George is missing a key element of the story.
He's a pussy.
Unfortunately, I've been diagnosed with motion sickness.
He's diagnosed.
I don't know if anybody watches 911, the new show. I just started watching it, and I saw an episode where this guy was getting on a roller coaster, and I thought about that story that you told about Seth getting on a roller coaster, and I really thought that you were being mean, George, because when I saw that guy's reaction, I said, you should have never made him get on that ride.
So, no, the thing is that George and our good buddy Glenn we're sitting there. They're like, hey, come on. Have you ever been on Star Tours before? I'm like, no, I've never been on it. They're like, come on, get on. And I'm like, well, is it like a 3D type ride? And they're like, yeah. So I'm like, well, I can't really do that. I get motion sickness. And they're like, come on, just, nut up already. Let's go. Be a man. So
you watch the Muppets 3D and you got no issue with the Muppets 3D.
Because who doesn't love
that's
Muppets?
Pretty.
So
okay, you see what I'm saying, though, Ariel?
So we go in the ride. So we go in the ride, and I'm sitting next to our buddy Glenn's wife, and I'm sitting there, and it gets to the part in the ride where you're in Naboo and you go under the water. I swear to God, I broke out in the worst cold sweat I ever broke out in my entire life. I mean, like, I was drenched from top to bottom. We walk outside the ride after the ride's over, and his wife is looking at me, and she goes, oh, my God, are you okay? And I said, yeah. I said, I just need to get up and get some fresh air. So we walk outside. George and Glenn are sitting there with their mouths open. They're like, oh, my God, we are so sorry. Not that we didn't believe you. So for all we know, George and Glenn could have caused me death.
Oh my God.
That's exaggerating.
I felt bad, man. When I saw that episode of 911, I actually felt bad for you. I did.
Then I took this guy.
I thought George was being mean. He should have been more
Hashtag motion sickness. It's a real.
Sarge, you've been to Magic Kingdom. Have you rode the mine train?
I go on everything, man. I love rides. I love adrenaline. Ever since I got out of the military, I'm an adrenaline junkie, so I go on everything.
But have you ever rode the mine train?
Yeah.
What do you think about the mine train? Is that a crazy,
here we go.
Whatever, man.
It's okay, right?
I waited so long, and I'm like, oh, and Joe, if you're watching Heel Hunter, he's like, oh yeah, this has dips, and I'm like, really, bro?
Yeah. It was nothing. It was nothing. I went on this thing with Seth, bro. And Seth is cursing loudly.
You're talking about at Disney, the little train that goes through the
Yes,
little.
The dwarf one, right?
Okay,
The
so
dwarf.
again,
Are you
keep it
serious?
keep in mind.
Dwarves.
I'm not a big fan of roller coasters.
This dude
And
is
That's not a roller
cursing.
coaster.
We're sitting
It's not
in
a roller
line.
coaster.
No. Okay, so
The New York Transit is more turbulent.
No, dude, it is not a
again,
roller coaster.
know the facts. Know the facts.
Dude, the thing
Okay.
is in Fantasyland. It's like right next to Dumbo.
So we're in line. We're in line and we're getting up to the roller coaster. And I'm sitting there and George is like, you all right? I'm like, no, man. I'm like, they're gonna put us in front. They're gonna put us in front. And he's like, no, they're not. He's like, stop it. They're like, right this way, sir. Seat 1, please. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm like getting all nutty and shit. The ride takes off, and I'm like, here we go. And then like in the beginning, I'm like, oh, this isn't so bad.
When we say
and
takes
then all
off,
of a sudden,
it does this.
Hey, Seth, I've seen women push their kids in strollers faster than this ride does.
I'm saying.
Oh my
So
God.
this dude is cursing so loud, and then it comes around the outside of this thing, and this dude's fuck, So we get off this ride, and my wife and his wife are like, Seth, we heard you clearly all the way around.
That ride
remind me when I see you tomorrow at work to scissor kick you in the back of the head.
I have a question
that
though.
is a kiddie ride.
Yeah,
that
go ahead.
is a ride.
Because I have never been to Disneyland,
Mhm.
so I don't know how many roller coasters do they actually have though.
They have
Quite a
that-
few.
No,
I mean legitimate roller coasters, not like
Nah, they don't
we're
have
gonna
any.
do it.
Rock and roller coaster. They've got.
Yeah, but that's at Hollywood Studios. So it
I
depends on the
believe
park.
exactly. I belive Seth considers the Buzz Lightyear ride a roller coaster.
Because here's the thing,
love
like
Buzz Lightyear. You shut your mouth.
here's the thing. Ever since I was a kid, I was in New York. I grew up in New York, so I would go to Six Flags in New
Six
Jersey.
Flags. I love that
Six
place.
Flags. That whole day, one after the other, is roller coasters. I came down here, and for my anniversary, I went to SeaWorld with my boyfriend, and only 3.
You have to go to Busch Gardens.
And I was like, really? Then they had like, the Mako. I was like, oh, finally, like a legitimate roller coaster. So I go on. I haven't been on a roller coaster for years. You know how they take a picture of you when you're going on a roller coaster? I look like somebody like sneezed in my face, just go like, and my bear looks like, he has the face like he's leaning forward, just like I have the look of death. Oh, actually, I have it here, and and when we came out of it, I was like, yeah, let's go
So
again.
He's
And he-
conveniently there and handed you the picture, right?
Yeah. Hold on, I don't know if you can see it. Oh no. Oh no, I think it's too bright.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Closer, it'll show up.
Oh, hold on. But basically, after we got off, I was like, yes, let's go again. And maybe no.
Yeah, it's hard to see.
It.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Got-
But he was almost puking afterwards. I'm like, are you serious? He
All right, I've never gone that far to where it's gotten to the point where I've actually had to go puke after a ride. It hasn't
feel-
gotten to that point.
I feel
George
like the
described
only
that Star
legit
Wars
roller
ride
coaster.
like that.
Say
What's
it again.
that?
Yeah.
George, when you described how he got off of that Star Wars 3D ride, he looked like he was death walking.
Yeah, he looked pretty bad.
I think the only legit roller coaster at all of Disney World is in Animal Kingdom, the Yeti.
Yeah.
Everest.
Well,
That's my favorite one.
The
But
Rock and Roller Coaster, I think, is better, actually, in my opinion. Because that one's in the dark, and that thing's fast as shit.
That's true.
Well, in SeaWorld, when I went, I think Mako, because that's the one that we went on, the Mako, that almost had him pass out, was, I think, it was like the fastest roller coaster in America at the time, or I think it still is.
well, the King of Ka is the fastest one,
Well, I know King the Ka is the tallest, isn't it?
but it's the fastest too because it goes 120 or something like that. We're like in 4 or 6 seconds.
God damn!
That's
Really?
awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
You never been on
I
that?
remember. No, because you know what? I moved just before they did
okay.
Shere Ka, or is it Shere Ka? I think for
Big room?
in Six Flags. But before that, I went on the Nitro with the 90-degree.
Yeah.
That.
I love that park so much.
Oh
Every
my
time I go
God, I
home,
love
I go to
that.
Six Flags. Yeah.
Does the old guy with the glasses pick you up from the commercial? The Vanguard bus is coming.
He'll go on the ride with me at least.
He's like, yeah.
We should hook Susan up with him.
You guys are Susan. I feel so bad for Susan.
You don't even know the half of it, George.
Hey Seth, how about you and me have a pop off, and if you lose, you got to go to Busch Gardens with me.
Whoa.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. You say I have to go to Busch Gardens with you, but you're not stipulating that I have to go on the rides.
It'll be in there, bro. Relax. We have a show. Obviously, you'll go on the rides.
Statue.
That's awesome. That would be cool. If you can get this man on a roller coaster, bro, I would buy you a statue, bro.
Oh my God,
Jesus!
Is that it for statues?
Do it.
Yes, that's it for statues. That's it for statues.
You basically just gave Sarge like ammunition now. So like every time I see him, he's gonna be like, "So, when we going to SeaWorld?"
I'm gonna put it in my videos now every time. Hey, you ready? I got the passes for Busch Gardens.
He's all good about getting people to hashtag and stuff like that. So he'll be like, hashtag get Seth on a roller coaster.
That's last ride. Hashtag Seth's
Seth's ride.
Hey, real quick, guys, do I sound okay now? I mean, I know
Yeah,
that
you sound
okay.
I sound okay.
fine.
Yeah, when I put the new camera on, it switched the microphone to the camera. That's the reason why it wasn't muting. So,
So you're not.
So we're back on that, man.
well, John sent me a text message in the middle. He's like, "You sound like you're far away from the microphone." So, yeah, that's why I was
What's
trying
up,
to
Jason McFarland? What's up, man?
Yeah, SSG Sheamus. Yeah, we just saw the thing with Roman Reigns that he's been battling leukemia. So yeah, that's kind of a bummer, man. I mean, the dude, the WWE was really trying to get him over with the fans, and I mean, as a fan, I think they could have done a better job, but him as a person now going through that, my sympathy goes out towards him, and I wish him a speedy recovery.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. What's next on the docket there, George?
You brought up the Shuri from Black Panther. You talked to me about that earlier today, so I figured I'd show off some pictures of that. It's so she's getting her own comic book, right?
Yeah, she is. Mm-hmm. She's getting her own comic. Apparently, I guess T'Challa is off. He's been missing out in space or something like that, and they're looking for a queen to take over the throne. And she is completely uninterested in becoming queen. Of course, you can probably her attitude from the movie. You've seen that, but that's pretty much what the first issue, from what I understand, centers around. But I'm excited about it because I think she is a very powerful character that probably should get her stage, her fame.
Yeah,
I mean, all the technology revolves around her. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be cool if they set her up to be like the next Iron Man, almost.
Yeah, I mean that would be cool too. I mean, it's just I think there's a lot of directions that they can go with her because I think the movie established her as being a very important character.
She's very versatile, which is great about her. Not only is she has personality, quick wit, kind, but she has intelligence, not just in the mechanical aspect and technology, but bio as well.
Right.
I mean, the other two who are basically engineers couldn't figure out how to get the stone off Vision, but she's like, why don't you just do that? And she's
right,
because she has both.
Absolutely. I mean, and we can't get away from the fact that she's a woman, and I love the fact that she's getting her own title, and they're highlighting that how I just love this. I'm not gonna go down the whole road there. But I love this. I have a daughter who's 30, but I just love this.
It is great. It's and we have a lot of established, very strong female characters in Marvel already, but it is nice to have a trend of, especially a woman of color as well, to be in the spotlight. But it makes sense. It's not just tacked on.
Exactly. I love that. It makes sense. She the value that she brings makes sense.
And I think if I read correctly of what they're going to do in terms of storyline or why she has to take up the mantle, not only, of course T'Challa is out of the picture, but now there hasn't been a rift or a change in Wakanda that has they're no longer doing queens, but they still need a Black Panther. So you're the only one qualified. And she's like, I don't want it.
I don't want to do this.
David Zierta in the comment in the chat is saying anybody participating in the Mega Millions tomorrow, 1.6 billion. Pull. Just think of all the collectibles you could buy. I would never have to work another goddamn day the rest of my life.
That's hilarious.
I would go and buy every single pop ever, and then still have money left over. And then just maybe I might buy a statue.
Hulkbuster Deluxe.
Oh, I can get a master computer and all the games I could ever want.
Sarge, I'll buy us a lifetime supply of WWE tickets.
Amazing. We'll just keep going. Have you ever noticed in the front row, it's always like the same 5 people? I don't even know what they do.
Always.
It's that one dude with his mom with the long hair.
Dude. I met him when I went to Takeover. Yeah.
Fabulous. Entertaining. Dad.
Oh, man. Yeah. That guy's in every show. I don't even know what the hell he does for a living.
Yeah.
Ariel, just real quick. Did you know when is that issue supposed to come out?
Oh, I have no idea. Let me look it up real quick.
I was just curious, but yeah, I thought I'm pretty sure it was this year it was coming out, but I didn't know exactly
I think
when,
so.
in case somebody was interested.
Shuri release.
I think we're having some technical difficulties because John is saying, did anyone else just get kicked?
Yeah, it's been happening. I've been looking at my stream and it kicks me out to refresh.
Mine does too. I have to refresh.
Okay.
I'm not sure what's going on.
Get your shit straight, YouTube. Jesus Christ.
Maybe time for some upgrades over here to help things along. Let's see. Maybe soon. So while we're keeping up with the Avengers, well, before we get to Avengers, let's finish off with Shuri's. You're looking up.
I think it came out already. Because I'm looking at a.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it says in stores today, Wakanda Forever Shuri. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Mhm.
Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
It sucks that the actor doesn't like doing it anymore.
He doesn't want to do it?
I think so.
No, man, he doesn't. He doesn't like doing that.
Because so many people have done it to him. He's like, oh my God.
Really?
For every single
that's
person.
the price you pay to make millions and to be a superstar. Get over it.
I would love to see this dude just walk down the street and TMZ catch him and somebody going like at him like Wakanda Forever and him just snapping, be like, it's a fictional place, asshole. It doesn't exist. Get over it.
Yeah, that's the part about celebrities that bother me sometimes. I mean, it is you get into the spotlight. This is what you do. I think that's part of the price you pay to be who you are and to be a celebrity. People are going to admire you. They're going to want you to do those things. And they believe they look at you as these characters. So, hey, look, you're the one that can live in a mansion. They get to live vicariously through you. So suck it up and do it. That's how. But
here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Like, you have to also think balance as well. I mean, yes, they are taking up a mantle. They are taking up a character, and they are being a role model and essentially putting themselves out in the public, and especially in the eye of everyone. But when a person is so big and it's constantly like every maybe an hour, 2 hours of every day, then yeah, any human being is gonna get sick of it. I mean, I'm sure he's still very grateful of what his for his role and everything like that, but I can only imagine the constant outbursts and everything that just day-to-day basis.
Hey, listen, you're never gonna get me to shed a tear over that because I have no empathy whatsoever.
Tell her, Calvin, tell her.
You are never gonna get me to shed a tear over that.
Fans are sometimes overbearing, or sometimes really like fan bases sometimes can become toxic. And
sure, but you accept the responsibility.
So if you become Oprah and you become these people that are that famous, then hey, that is the life that you're gonna live. I get that. I mean, I'm just not going to have. It's hard for me to conjure up empathy for someone who can seclude themselves in a mansion worth $1 billion. This is not gonna.
It's a hazard of the job, right? You're going to be a public figure.
Exactly.
You kind of have to take that. Like when I joined the military, I'm not going to be like, why are people shooting at me? That's what I signed up for, right?
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Dare you?
So, right? I do YouTube. And, I don't have that many followers, but like I have enough where people are always constantly messaging me. and I have people that hate on me, and I have people, and I know it's gonna happen because I chose
exactly
to put myself.
Yeah.
I chose this life.
I chose it. That's right.
So I'm going to totally put the theory to test at work now. So every day I'm going to walk by George's desk and just be like, "Keep it marvelous." His slogan every day at work. I'm just going to test it and just be like, "Hey, what's up, Seth?" And be like, "You man, keep it marvelous." And I'm just going to keep walking by every day until he gets so pissed off that the work cameras catch him hopping over the workstations and coming at me like a raving lunatic.
You're gonna have to like duck and cover when he throws something at you.
That's what I gotta put up with, man.
Hey, you stay marvelous.
Yeah, I'll keep it that way. Oh my God, this guy. So Seth, you showed me the other day they had a leaked Avengers 4 trailer, right?
Yeah, people can't tell if it's real or if it's fake, or real or fake. I mean, it basically goes into what's on the screen now. Like you see, Thanos' glove sitting there, all destroyed and everything, and then it goes to like this weird.
Has anybody seen it?
Yeah.
No.
George is playing it now.
Yeah.
Oh shoot,
that looks like Aquaman.
That means
It does look like Aquaman. Spoiler: Aquaman crosses and switches over to Marvel.
everybody from DC wishes they could go to Marvel right now.
I know. We'll take Aquaman. Come here.
Take Jason Momoa.
Right?
Oh man,
I hate when people do leaks though. I'm like, can I just enjoy it for when it comes out and have it not spoiled for me?
you got the
We
camera
wouldn't
like all
have anything
weird
to
and
talk
shit.
about, okay? So we need these leaks. We need stuff to talk about.
Like for any game that comes out like AAA, I don't know, maybe I'm because of RPGs and everything is so story driven. Anytime one of those come out, I'm like la 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 la. I don't look at any articles, I don't look at any interviews, I only look at the trailers and that's it. And then when I go in blind. And
The only time we've ever done that is when me and George and Josh were doing the off the reel trailer reactions, and we would try to make it through the whole day without trying to watch the trailer
I would keep away from that shit, man.
Yeah.
And then, because we got to do the trailer reaction. And then every time, and then the worst part is that we also, on top of trying to do the trailer reactions, I'm also posting up the content. So I got to let people know, hey, this trailer is out. So I put the trailer out, and I'm like closing my eyes and like, play. So.
Wow, looks like we're having technical difficulties again. I got kicked.
I saw Linda say in the chat she's one of those people that bugs Sergeant.
Yeah. You guys aren't bugging me, man. I have a whole bunch of followers.
Linda, you have to listen, Linda. Linda, please listen, Linda.
David says it's a fake trailer.
I believe it's a fake trailer too, because I don't believe that. I don't believe that Disney is that careless.
No, Marvel is so tight-lipped and
I believe it's
reprimand
fake.
anyone.
Well, since they're since everybody's making such a big deal that this is Chris Evans' last movie is Captain America. I'm sure they're going to try to keep whatever they can under wraps as much as possible for this one, because this is going to be the movie that reshapes the MCU universe. So it'll be interesting.
It's definitely going to be an emotional one because you're going to see all the
don't go there.
Go there.
You're going to see deaths, and you're going to see the ends of definitely long time characters. But I think with this, and all the movies in between, they're going to definitely try to set up the platform. So, okay, it will make sense if this person takes this person's place or, continues on the mantle or whatever. And it's going to be a sucker punch. I'll tell you that right now. It's going to be tough.
I want to go back to one thing because the thing chat cut out. Drex BOA said, F that. If I got his money, I'll wander forever, all day, every day. I didn't want to curse. So
Andrew. Andrew's a follower of
awesome.
Sergeant May. Yeah, it's funny.
That's funny.
Hell yeah, I'll be like Wanda forever. I do whatever you want me to do if I have that money.
That's what I'm saying.
All day long.
That's what I'm
All day
saying.
long.
Every day I'm gonna walk up to George and be like, "You keep it marvelous," and that's.
You want to get big? It's the price you pay.
Well, you know what's funny? Because at one point when I started doing What's Poppin', people were like walking around the office and like coming up to me and be like, "Hey Seth, what's poppin'?" And I'd have like no clue what the going on. And I was like, George, I was like, "Did you tell people we're making videos?"
You told people we're making videos.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. This dude's too much, bro. I got people. I was keeping it mad quiet at work, right? Nobody knew about this shit at work except for Seth. So Seth is like, "Can I make a video? I want to be in the video. I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it." He was like, "I'm gonna be in it. I could be in it." So I was like, "All right." So he comes up with a show, right? Next thing you know, I got people that didn't know that I don't even talk to that much. So I heard you doing a YouTube video. I'm like, "Fuck! Like, who'd you hear that from?" Seth. I go over to Seth like, "Seth." He's like, "I only told one person." I'm like, "Yeah, right. Like this guy."
Hey, you know what? You keep it marvelous.
Yeah. What's poppin'? So
What's next?
Guillermo del Toro is making a stop-motion animated Pinocchio.
That was like confirmed years ago, wasn't it? Or was it at talks?
He's been wanting to make it for the past 8 years, and
but
somebody finally picked it up.
Yeah, so pick it up. It's coming to Netflix.
I have to ask a question. Why do we care?
Because it's Guillermo del Toro.
That's what I'm talking about.
What?
You need to educate me. I don't understand why I should care about it.
Well, Guillermo del Toro, if I'm not mistaken, most of his movies are on like the horror side. Like he's a good creature effects guy. So
yeah, Guillermo.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm about to blow everybody's mind right now in the show and in the chat. For the first time ever in the history of That Geek Show, I think Calvin and I finally agree on something.
Whatever. Stay quiet.
Have you not seen Pan's Labyrinth?
Yeah.
Pan's Labyrinth.
It was amazing.
Like
the Orphanage.
Hellboy.
Yeah.
You didn't like Hellboy?
Okay, Hellboy, Pinocchio. I'm not connecting the dots, people.
Okay, hold on.
Go ahead. You got it. Go.
Guillermo del Toro is one of the most creative directors and very artistic directors that there is on the market right now. And what I mean by that is he has such an attention to palette, to color, to detail, to prosthetics, no CGI, only touch-ups. And he started not directing, but he started with creature makeup from the get-go, from the beginning. So in movies like Pan's Labyrinth, he is a master of creating a world and making it organic, making it live. Even with his last movie, The Shape of Water, everything was under one palette. He goes down to the details of the gills having to have the same palette, the rooms having the same palette. He is an artistic genius in terms of that. And for Pinocchio, which is an old story, he's gonna really bring it in, especially if it's a story about a puppet. The puppet's gonna be gorgeous, and he has that knack of bringing forward like folk stories. That's his thing, folk stories and horror and visual horror.
See, that's what I'm kind of hoping for, is a little bit of like a dark twist for Pinocchio. I think that'd be kind of cool.
If you look at his movies Pan Labyrinth and then the tones of horror in The Orphanage, or The Devil's Backbone, which is one of his very early movies, and then just the artistic scenery in Hellboy, or especially Hellboy 2, in that maps room, all the little scrolls in there have art on them. Everything is so intricate, so unique, or the monsters, his creatures, are ridiculous and scary. So yes, very excited.
Calvin, do me a favor. I haven't asked anything of you. Just watch Pan's Labyrinth, and you have to watch it with subtitles. It's in Spanish.
I've seen it.
You've seen it.
Barbara Lopez.
Right. So that's why I was saying I wanted to go to Eric, because I wanted to get this, Eric, because all of the things that you mentioned about this creator, I mean, I love all of that work. I just did not connect how Pinocchio would come to life.
Well, right. I think it's going to give it more of a darker twist. I think it's going to take place during the Hitler era or something. So you're going to have a little bit.
Whoa! Hey! Watch where you throw that name around there, buddy.
Well, what do you mean? It's history. It happened.
Hey,
I'm sorry. Anyway, so yeah, I think he's going to put that tone during that period of time, and I think there's something with the father that the father actually leaves him. Leaves Pinocchio. So that's going to be kind of like the dark twist. So he's by himself. Essentially, he abandons him.
All right, you guys have convinced me that it's something I'm definitely going to see. So, all right, you know, I'm in. I just didn't get it at first when we were going to talk about this on the show.
Whatever.
And
it's going to be. You got the most closed-minded mind I've ever had to deal with.
See, that's the difference. You said that we agreed, Seth. That's the difference. I have an open mind about this, and I'm listening to the passion from Eric and Ariel about this. Now I'm interested.
Because here's the thing. I mean, it's not like it hasn't been done before, like horror-wise, in terms of Pinocchio. Like, if you only know Pinocchio from Disney, then yeah, it's a big of a stretch for you to imagine it. But if you've read, or even know even a little bit or inkling of, let's say, the comic book series Fables, Pinocchio is in there, and you know his father is not exactly a nice person. He's a kind of a totalitarian character, and they're in with Pinocchio being that it's, especially with his taste and twist and everything, it's definitely gonna be dark. It's definitely gonna be, you know, really delving into like human cruelty. Let's put it that way.
I'm ahead. I'm interested now. I am. I Seth, hey, I wasn't abandoning you, man. I just think it's interesting now.
Seth can come along for the ride. Nobody's abandoning Seth.
So Barbara Lopez is saying, LOL, I got him confused with Benicio del Toro.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah.
I know.
I know. The last name always messes me up, too. But I mean, but yeah. Guillermo is a hell of a creator.
Listen, I've seen Pan's Labyrinth. I've seen The Shape of Water. They were both very graphic. I wouldn't say. Well, I don't want to say visually appealing movies. You know, but just again with me in movies, it's very, you know, it's very weird because it's got to be something that really like draws me in and grabs my interest. I mean, I see like, you know, we were talking about this last week where they're taking all the old Disney movies we watched as kids and remaking them into live action. Why can't you just leave Well Enough alone? I feel that's kind of like almost the same. That's almost the same thing with Pinocchio.
But Seth,
why are you going to remake something?
No, but Seth, it's not almost the same thing. It's because you're talking about the Disney recreations that they're just taking the animated movie and they're making a live production of it. They're taking it beat for beat. Is like is what I'm saying. This guy is going to take this and he's not going to make the Disney movie. He's going to give you a completely different look at it. And it's going to be dark, and it's going to be gritty. It's going to be something that is more for adults and less for kids, you know. And that's going to be something that may be interesting, you know, maybe something different to see. So
yeah, I want to see a trailer now. I mean, I'm in.
It's going to be. Here's the thing, though, like, it's because you brought up Disney. Yeah, they're kind of basically doing, you know, live action recreations of the stories, the cartoons, but. Guillermo del Toro is not doing it from Disney. It's completely, yes, like he said, different. But here's the thing. A lot of the stories from Disney, original stories, they're terrible. Like,
absolutely.
Like, right. The Little Mermaid is a Danish story. That one, she basically, she does, you know, get legs for her voice, but what they cut out was that every time she takes a step, it feels like she's stepping on glass. So she's constantly crippled with pain, and she only has 3 days. And in the end of the story, she does not win over the prince, and she turns into sea foam and dies.
Yeah, almost every Disney story that they've done is very, very, very dark originally. Yep,
like Hunchback of Notre Dame. Esmeralda wasn't kind. She didn't like Quasimodo. She thought he was gross. It was like, you. And then Claude Frollo, tries to basically, you know, make her do the naughty with him. But
it's after 9 o'clock. You can say it. It's okay.
It's okay. Basically tries to get him to be, you know, his concubine or whatever. She says no. He burns her, but Quasimodo does go in and, you know, saves her. But he doesn't save her. she actually dies from the carbon monoxide. And so they kill Claude Frollo. He's left alone and abandoned. She's dead. They put her in the grave. Quasimodo's being so distraught, and he's not actually smart. He's actually has a mental disability. Digs up her grave, goes into her grave to hold her corpse, and then dies from starvation because he never left.
Disney didn't tell that story.
Ass Kikin Unicorn dropping the knowledge tonight on MCE. I had no idea.
Yes.
And,
That's why she's on the show.
And Linda, Cinderella is pretty. You know what? If ever anyone wants to look at anything Grimm fairy tales, because I love Grimm fairy tales. That's how I learned how to read. The legit Grimm fairy tales. This series is what I love the most from Grimm fairy tales.
Yeah, slutty princesses.
Oh, gory as hell.
Now we're talking.
That's like, I'll watch
now
that
we're
movie.
talking my language. Let's go.
He's like, yo, give me that book now.
Yeah, I need that book like now.
That's hilarious, yo.
But yeah, all those stories are horrific, and then you can really take just the base skeleton of a story and then refabricate it to what you need.
Yeah.
So that's why I like reimaginings, because it could have been done this way, it could have been done that way. Cinderella's stepsisters with cutting off their toes, cutting off their heel, instead of that, getting, or when the birds pluck their eyes out, making them blind. So
Hey, Seth, what was that reaction about?
They probably had it coming. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, they had it coming. What they got was pretty bad too.
Very gruesome.
Yeah, Grimm fairy tales. Yeah.
And you know what? That's why I like
pick back up the cover though. I need to see the cover again.
Oh, here, I'll give you even better. Hold on. Let me open up a page.
Full screen. Here you go. Got full screen now.
Now we just need the music.
Trying to. Well, here's an upskirt. There's some more.
Oh my god, kids!
Wait, hold on. That's
MCE After Hours.
The art is amazing.
Who's the artist?
That's the fairy tale. That's the comic. That's the.
Yeah, this is Roman.
Yeah.
Hold on. Where is it?
I think I just found my new favorite artist.
Where is it? Covered by Romano Molinar, and colors by Negrufino.
I like the art.
Yeah, I love this thing.
Remember those names. Google searching after we're done.
Or look up Luis Royo. I love him.
I love him too. He put out great work, clearly.
I actually have cards from him and like some other cards from him. But I was so mad when they came out with Hellboy 2. My sister actually met Guillermo del Toro. I was so mad. I didn't speak to her for a week. And just for, to make me happy again, she gave me the poster from the Comic-Con.
Nice.
The little cup holder. I was like, you better give me that shit.
Yeah.
Take that shit. All right, so let's talk some video games, right? Been at this for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk some video games. So before we get into your games, did y'all hear about Tomb Raider getting a 47% discount, including the DLCs, only like a month after the game was released? Got people pissed off.
Was it that bad? I didn't play it. Was it that bad?
Actually, it got good reviews. That's what got people really mad is that those people that bought the game for $69 now or $60. What was the game cost? Is it $69?
$59.99.
$59.99.
$69.
And bought the DLCs only for a month to go by, and Steam put that shit on sale for 47% off retail.
That's pretty dickish.
That is pretty.
Oh, it just shows some people need to learn to have patience.
But you know what? But that's the thing. You can never predict these things because, like, even GTA 5 rarely goes on sale.
Right.
And it's been how many years? And it's still going full price strong. So
Well, it really coming out with content for that game, though.
Yeah. But the main game, like, damn. It's like, I was like, okay, let me get into GTA 5. It should be fine. But here's the thing. It's like, they'll have sales for the Rockstar server. But if you go through Steam, you got to make sure that it's not the Rockstar, but the Steam server. Because if you get Rockstar server, then you're completely screwed and divided from, the other players, which are the majority in the Steam server. So it's kind of convoluted crap.
Yo, but GTA. I mean, I think I have GTA 5. Where we used to. Wasn't that the one we used to play, Seth? GTA 5.
He went to the bathroom.
Oh, he went
I
to the
think.
bathroom, of course. All right, so if I remember correctly, I didn't pay for any DLC content for that game. I thought everything was just free for that one.
No, I think they have editions or versions where you can have the DLC unlocked because it is in there. Some games have the DLCs like already in the data or the file, which is kind of stupid because why do I need to pay extra to unlock something I already have installed in my computer?
Sure.
But speaking of Rockstar, since that was brought up, Rockstar is actually under fire because of the alleged crunch times that devs suffer. Um, working 90 hours, taking sleep shifts just to get these games done.
Oh, so
And
that's
it's
what you were talking
brutal.
about, right, Eric? That was for Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead Redemption, yeah,
Yeah.
that's correct.
And and then now they had recent or not recent people who worked in Rockstar, with GTA 5 and the last Red Redemption, and even had a public letter, back in the day, like well, this is a decade ago, but you can tell, like, in the interview, of course, maybe his words came out of context, like, oh, we worked 100-hour week, blah, blah, blah. We're proud to do so because we're passionate. But in his verbiage, when he tried to, like, reel back, about the comment, he still was kind of giving the manipulative verbiage, which was, well, I'm passionate about the game, so I did 100 hours. So if I do the normal hours and didn't do overtime, I'm being lazy. So that they do this with developers where they underpay them. They manipulate them, like, you should be happy to be working here because we can replace you, and there's a line of people that we can replace you with, and it's bullcrap. And that's why people are getting more behind the motion of getting these developers more rights or unionized, so not being freelanced and having all these labor violations, like the thing that happened with Telltale Games, a studio that I loved, that produced Walking Dead season 1, 2. Okay, but The Wolf Among Us, which is Fables, and which had the evil Pinocchio in there, or no, his father. And it's terrible to see because all these games that we get and love, they're not coming directly from the studio name. They're coming from normal, citizens that bust their ass and getting little scraps to support themselves and their families.
So when you say that they're working overtime, are you saying that they're not following the laws? These people aren't getting paid time and a half for working overtime?
My darling, sometimes, yeah. And sometimes they'll have crunch times that are having them work 90 hours a week or even more than that. And it's really kept under wraps. And like with Telltale Games, they gambled basically the whole company, but keeping up airs to their employees, being irresponsible by telling them, okay, yeah, everything's fine, and they were hiring people, they were sending people across the country, doing, for work in other places. And they were writing the whole company on a deal with AMC and I forgot what other investor for the studios. That fell through. And then the next day, they told all their employees, you have 30 minutes to gather all your things and get the hell out.
Damn.
So, but here's the thing, though. Not 10 people, not 20 people, 250 employees without work, without severance, without benefits, without notice. Done. And you know what? In which now they're having a class lawsuit against them. And the interesting thing is that because of, I forgot what's the name of the act. There's something I forgot the name of the act. But basically the act or the law says you have to give people 60 days notice with their their benefits and everything included, to to let them know that the company may shut down or going to close down. Now, in other states, except California, there is stipulation that, okay, if we close for unforeseen uh reasons like financial disaster or something like that, then okay, it could be, well, it can be, bargained with, or like, okay, then you don't have to give them their severance. But the studio is in California. In California doesn't have those stipulations. It's yes and like black and white. That's it.
Well, it's kind of. I think it's almost kind of like Florida, because Florida's like a right to work state, so
Right.
they don't have to give you any kind of notice or any kind of reasoning or anything like that. When they just say you're done, and that's it.
No. In California, no. The stipulation is
California is a different world all in itself. They have completely different laws than anybody else in the country.
But you know what? In California, because the studio is in California, what basically the law is saying is that it doesn't matter if you have a financial disaster, you're going to still have to pay their severance, their benefits, and damages, because a lot of these people, their medical their medical insurance was cut, so everything was cut. They were cut like dry. And then, but what made the whole situation atrocious and like really like put a bad stain and making the conversation more prevalent with Rockstar and everything like that is because after this happened, they were trying to get other investors to finish the game, because they had just released Walking Dead, the final season, to cap off one of their main series. And we are only 2 episodes in. The other 2 episodes have yet to be done. So these people who paid full price season pass to get these 2 other episodes are now screwed.
Eddie Diaz in the chat said that I'm a designer and heard that with developers, and heard the same thing you're talking about, I guess, with developers as well. That's why they do contracts most of the time. Do you know what he's talking about when he says that's why they do contracts?
It's kind of like where they hire in contractors, so they don't have like a working by hour, instead of it's just per project salary, so they don't have to keep you on. But here's the thing though, and depending on which state you're in, like my sister, she could be a freelancer. It's freelancing basically. You just go in and then have a time or stipulation or project based employment, and that's it. Nothing's guaranteed for anything else. But here's the thing, for freelancing or doing contractual work, the company by law or in certain states cannot tell you how many hours to work, cannot tell you when to work, cannot tell you it cannot set a schedule, because if you're setting a schedule for the person who's the freelancer, then they are supposed to be an hourly. They're not, or salary. They're not. They're a separate entity. You cannot tell the separate entity when to work, how much to work, and to crunch. What they do is, really like be sly and put some fine print, which is illegal, in their contracts.
Right. I would imagine that what you're saying, all of that stuff is pretty difficult. But I'm thinking people that are in this industry, it's hard for them in that, they do a lot of these things because this is their first break. This is the first time that they get to do something that they love to do. And I can see how this could happen, where somebody's working on something and they're getting to work on a large franchise for the first time. Like here locally, we filmed Halloween. The new movie was filmed here in Charleston. And I know personally a number of people who worked on that set. And I know some people who worked on that set who probably did not get paid, but they were willing to do a lot of that just to add it to their resume. To do things that they wouldn't have done normally.
But here's the thing, though. There's a shift kind of coming in terms of gaming, or at least I see it in gaming, where AAA games are no longer the coveted things that we hoped and dreamed for, because they are burning out these people. Because remember, the game is good because of developers, not the studio. And they're burning out these creative, geniuses, and, basically killing them, with all this crunch time, all this, mismanagement and just terrible business practices, because they can. And what happens is you get, which is basically now a dead time of games, or actually no, we had a revival a little bit with like God of War and things like that, and Spider-Man, thank God, where we had like a little bit of a dead time of games being lackluster. Like one of the biggest ones to name is EA. They can go to hell. But even things like that, like developers are now kind of just saying, you know what, I don't have to deal with this shit, fuck you, and I'm gonna go to and do my own thing. I'm gonna go into and do my own games. And now we're seeing a lot more creative and classic or now games that are coming out that we're more interested in the indie genre.
I would like to hear more about your hate for EA.
Okay, we're not gonna have a Target EA thing going on.
I'm saying.
I think he just wants to
You know what? Hold on a second. Hold on a quick second, because I have backup here with me tonight. Sarge, please elaborate on the hatred that we have for Target.
Yeah, we're talking about gaming.
I think you have eloquently, talked about that. I'm really curious. I haven't heard anybody else in the chat say something, but as we talk about this, I think it's a very, very interesting take on what's happening in the gaming world. And I've been educated tonight. So if anybody in the chat's got something to add to that, I'd love to hear it about what's happening. What's up next?
Some of the indie games that she brought up. Ariel showed me. That's I don't know which one we're starting off with. Let's see what we got.
Let's do Breath's Edge. Just show them the trailer for it.
Yeah.
Show them the trailer.
I love it. I just heard about this. I can't wait.
So
I want to play it so bad.
Give me a second. Breath Edge. Here we go. Boom. I didn't put the sound, so let me throw the sound on there.
Yeah, put the sound. You need the sound. Oh, where's the sound?
You can't hear it.
Yeah, you won't be able to hear it.
What the hell is that?
Get the immortal chicken.
Oh my god!
Is that a chicken?
Almost Hollywood-like storyline.
People are listening.
The best game I haven't played yet.
To me, this looks like a mix of an RPG, first person, meets Fortnite dancing.
Well, it's kind of like I've played Subnautica. I don't know if any of y'all know Subnautica. I mean, George has seen it. Me play Subnautica, but it's basically, I want to say, kind of like Subnautica, but in space. Basically, you are in that ship. It's been hit with a collision or a storm happens, and everything is just, blown to smithereens. So it has a very Monty Python like credits and Monty Python kind of humor. So I'm like, hell yeah. And basically you need to scavenge whatever is around you to survive. And meanwhile, you're doing all of this, you'll find little tapes of instructions of how to pee.
Okay.
Is anybody watching the chat here too?
Yeah, cruelty against chickens. Peter's gonna be all over this.
The chicken is immortal.
That
Nothing
chicken's
will happen
hilarious.
to him.
I saw another
And
trailer
then,
for it, and
mind you,
it's got a hot chick, and then it shows the chicken. I was cracking up.
But there is a hot chick apparently. I saw like only a few minutes of a playthrough. So
It's
meanwhile, you have a transmission of a Russian woman saying like, "Oh, I need you to come through the radiation to come save me." And it says, "Do not go and save her, no matter what your bodily functions tell you."
That's funny.
So, but it definitely looks interesting and it looks gorgeous. I've seen some gameplay of it, and if you're not into,
Is it out yet? Is it out?
Yeah, it's early access right now, so I actually want to get into that.
Okay.
Like, start doing that already.
So
But
anybody can do it, or do you have to register? How do you get early access? to
no,
it?
just go on Steam. It's for $15, and then boom, you're in. Just like with Visage or Visage, whatever. And that one's early access too.
Okay.
It's getting near its release though, so you get a portion of the game, or they're still developing the game, and then they'll have the final release date of and you can send messages to the devs like, oh, this glitched out on me, or this should be different, or the controls are wonky. So it really gives these developers like, okay, we'll take the information or the playthroughs that we see and then make a game better, which is really, really nice in terms of early access aspect. Like Subnautica from the beginning wasn't polished and whatever, but when with the early access and seeing other people play, and they were able to observe, and it really refined the game to something special. So that's why Subnautica is now, to me, something too close to my heart now, and a classic. And even though I don't like survival games, or being in the ocean for that matter, hell no.
You know who they need to make a game of, George? They need to make a game of Gary.
Gary.
Gary is like the best character I've ever seen in a long time. Gary holds a special place in my heart, and clearly I hold a special place in Gary's heart. So, for all those that don't, George is shaking his head.
Yeah, you bring up something that nobody knows about.
I know, so we're going to talk about it.
You think Gary and Susan know each other?
I wonder if Gary and Susan do know each other. I wonder if she gummed him while he was walking around in the mech suit.
That's why he was in a good mood.
All right. So what's the next game?
Is the next one the one that I'm waiting for?
I don't know. Which one? Pick one.
Which one is the next one?
Where's the one with the presidents? We need to see the one with the
presidents. I want to see. Is that the next one?
All right, we'll do that one. Hold on, let me get that one. It's called Blood and Patriots. Blood of Patriots.
Yeah.
Right.
These colors don't run, but this president's bloods do.
I'm going for that one. All right, here we go. Oh, no, I don't. Here we go.
Hold on.
And I got it. You guys again won't be able to hear it, but the audience will.
Okay.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Get over
And like Trump will say, China. See?
This is Bernie Sanders, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's an app. Oh, you can play it on the App Store.
Oh my god! I'm downloading this. I haven't
It's
downloaded
multiplayer,
this.
so I can actually go and play with anyone. So I'm like, yay!
I want to play that game.
It legitimately has a
Ronald Reagan, Jimmy
really
Carter,
developed.
Richard Nixon.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
It really has a developed like moves and everything. And if you do a special move, they'll say a quote, of what they said in speeches.
Linda's going wrong.
Well, if Bush wins, he'll be like, "Fool me once, shame on me." Fool don't get fooled again. Or whatever.
I don't know, but I want
that shit was freaking hilarious.
Oh my god! Oh god! I haven't even heard of this. This is awesome. This is freaking awesome.
I actually didn't see it on Steam. Actually, because I watch another streamer. He's a buddy of mine.
I'm on the App Store right now to buy it.
Yeah,
do it. His name is Gotta Blast on Twitch. And he was like, all right, let's play something. And then I saw it. I was like, what is this? And he was doing Trump. And all I just see is a barrage of him saying China and, make America great again.
Yep, there it is. Downloading it right now as we speak.
It's multiplayer, so I think I probably could just play YouTube.
Well, they have a platinum one, and then they have a free one. So I'm downloading the free. I'm downloading the free one right now.
That trailer, you won't go for platinum? I'm gonna go for platinum when I get it.
Well, I want to see if I like it first.
You're gonna like it.
Listen, America is depending on this. Okay, we need to make sure we pick the right president.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Yeah.
We're not going down that road right here.
And then there's Putin there too.
Anyway, I'm down.
I don't think they showed
him. Do you like travel to like all the countries like in Street Fighter, and then Putin's like the bison, like he's the final boss?
Yeah.
Arcade mode.
Oh my god, dude! How funny would that be? Like you fly to North Korea and fight Kim Jong Un, and then
You know what, David? They are in the chat. I think they were trying to do fatalities. I'm not sure, but I think they just did the end cutscenes for each character.
That's some funny
He
shit.
says this will give Mortal Kombat a run for his money.
But you
I kind
know
of wish
what?
I saved
It
that one
is-
for last. That's
The
not bad.
I know.
like-
I was just so excited to see it. I heard about it. I just wanted to see that.
It does really have the Mortal Kombat sophisticated system in terms of moves. Like, you know how you can click in Mortal Kombat to see all the moves so you can learn it? Same thing. So I'm like, okay, you know, they put a little effort in there.
They put a lot of effort, man. I like the way the characters look. I think it looks funny. It looks
Yeah.
funny as hell.
after Donald Trump wins, he's like, "You're fired."
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, so which one? I'm gonna say Visage last, because you've been playing that one, so you're gonna talk about it. So next one's the
Oh
Return
god, I
of
played
Obra
that
Dinn.
today. Okay, the
What?
return.
What is it?
It's called Return
Return-
of Obra Dinn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Obra Dinn or Obra Dinn.
Okay, this one was a little strange. I can't. I'm having a hard time getting into it because of the way the graphics look. But yeah, I should.
I like the artistic style of it at least.
Okay, let me get the sound turned on for this one. Because initially, when I thought about doing this, my thought of it was to have us talking over it. Hold on. Here we go. All right.
And there's Sergeant Funko, front and center. While we're it's up on the screen.
I'm watching your beautiful face right now, Seth.
Thank you. You're such a sweet man.
It's a gentleman.
I'll say it before and I'll say it 1,000 more times. If there were more people in this world like you, the world would be a better place.
There's Seth Gumming.
Soon I'm going to be gumming. Gumming. Yeah, your next YouTube video comes out tomorrow. I'm gumming Sarge. Keep an eye out.
A double gumming, you and Sue.
Double gumming.
Come on before she kicks off.
At some point, you guys are gonna explain what the hell you're talking about.
after we go off the air, Calvin, we'll explain
So, is this a pirate game or something?
Okay, so basically, this
Stop
is
getting that booty.
it's very different from of course, the prior games. But this is more of an interesting find just because of how different it is in terms of art style and how it plays out. So basically, this ship was lost at sea, then appeared in the harbor. So basically, you have to figure out how everybody died and how everything happened. What happened to the ship? But
It looks like Clue like Clue. Wait, it sounds like Clue on a pirate ship.
It kind of reminds me a little bit more like Myst in a way, like old school Myst, of trying to see the notes, the audio logs, the flashbacks, and then basically you are the investigator trying to figure out how every single person died. And it doesn't give it to you like, okay, follow this way, follow that way. No, you have to use logic. So anyone who likes mysteries or anything like that, this is kind of like a rare find. Because even with, RPGs that are really like, oh, it's mystery or you don't know who the killer is, you won't know because the story hasn't told you yet. It's not something you can try and figure out. But this is entirely on you. It's you using your brain and figuring out, okay, when this person died by gunshot by this person. And it's hard. And it's supposed to be hard, and it's supposed to be really, and I would figure it's extremely satisfying once you've, confirmed a death. So you keep going, and then learning the more of what happened in the ship and learning its lore and everything like that.
So
And
Ariel, who is this game for? Who is this game?
Definitely a niche game.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
probably
it's
for
definitely-
like 2% of the gamers out there.
Yeah, it's hard for me to
Because
jump in
they're
on that
like,
one. Ariel. I was feeling you on the other two games, but this one's like.
I think Eric and I were thinking the same thing at the same time. So
I'm like, is this a TI-86? What's going on? Am I playing this on a TI-86?
It's Colonel
But
Mustard.
by the way, I just want to put out there, I'm not putting the game down at all. I like the fact that this girl is bringing different games to the show because things, and like I would have not known about this game at all.
Yeah.
But I know it's not for me.
Right.
But
But that's what
For,
I'm
like-
saying. Who would play this game? Who's the type of gamer? Is this a casual gamer? Is this a hardcore gamer? Who's this for?
It would
Hardcore.
definitely be for not necessarily hardcore. It's just like, okay, if you're a person that likes narrative or RPGs, then you probably would be leaning more towards this. Now, if you're a person who likes to, any games using your mind, like chess or what have you, or just even liking um mystery novels or anything like that, and bridging into that, like, the thing that people kind of discount with games is that games have so many hours of gameplay, so you can really develop a story within that time, and it really pulls you in to kind of like get enriched into the story. So those who are story driven, I mean, there's plenty of communities that, or especially genres in terms of gameplay, that are strictly story, like otome games. So
That was like that Batman Telltale game, right?
No, I like
Kind of
that.
like it was like
That's pretty cool.
yeah, kind of like that, but and figuring it out, and if you don't get all the clues, then you don't know what happened.
Right, because this game here, I mean, I would probably just get too frustrated and never even pick it
You know, it
up.
kind of reminds me of
For me, for people like or other people who are like me, I would probably jump into it and like I need to know. I want to find out. Like I need to like completionist.
Well, you keep doing that because I love you having you on the show.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, George?
Remember that in the movie Big, the game that he was playing there with the wizard?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That kind of this kind of gives me that feel for that. Because it seems like a dated game, from the graphics and everything. But
Well,
it's like a throwback game.
Yeah.
It's nostalgia. It's kind of like what is it? The Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I love
Oregon Trail.
Big Small is like Oregon.
Yeah.
Hey, George was traveling along the journey and he died of syphilis, or whatever,
Dude, I played Oregon Trail forever.
Whatever. Somebody said that in the chat or something.
Yeah. All right, last game. Last game is Visage or Visage or Visage.
Visage.
I need to go to the doctor after this and get a nice Visage.
This game is gonna have me up tonight.
All right, so here we go. Hold on.
I can't wait to talk to you about this because I don't get this because I don't understand how any game could scare you that much.
Dave Small is saying, or you could just read a book. Just saying.
All right, here we go.
Or do both.
You would say that, Dave. You would.
I'm not scared yet, but go ahead.
Just scared.
I'm scared. I'm already got. I see it. Look, goosebumps.
Your hair is standing.
It starts off like that, and then takes a left turn.
I've seen video reactions on YouTube, and I don't get the reactions.
I'll explain the mechanics after the trailer.
Is this how the graphics look in the game?
Oh, it's beautiful, and that's what makes it worse.
Or better.
I love it.
Bad in a good way.
Sad Square Studio.
I'm sad. It's like a freaking poltergeist.
Yeah, see,
Oh,
if I saw that shit there, I'd be like, fuck this.
Shit, that doesn't bother me. I don't get it. Maybe I'm just like, I don't know. That just it's like, I don't know. Scary movies don't get to me. It looks amazing though.
Reminds me a little bit of PT.
Yes.
Don't do it. Stay away from the door. Don't open it.
Oh, you don't have a choice.
If we were all playing this game, Calvin would be the first person to die.
Way to throw the dude under the bus.
Oh my god.
You have to know me, right?
If anything, George, I was waiting for you to say me because I'm like the slow fat guy.
Hey, I'm right there, either in front of you or behind you. We're together.
Look at this shit. It's just crazy.
Black guy,
Definitely
black
PT.
guy.
I've been in that part already. Yeah, but no. Oh, I'm gonna be in that part next.
Visage.
Yeah, no, I can't do this shit.
All right, so you obviously are like think this is amazing. So help me out here.
I think it's amazing too. This graphics great.
Okay, so basically, the mechanics of Visage is kind of like a love child of old Insomnia or no, Amnesia, where they have a mechanic
Uh,
called
Here we go.
anxiety.
Here we go.
Hold on, go ahead. John just joined us. Hi, John.
Here we go.
Hi.
Continue.
So they have a mechanic called insanity. So it's usually represented as a brain, and on your left side of your screen. So the opening scene. I don't think I'm gonna spoil it if you see the opening scene. Well, anyways, in the opening scene, you see something.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. I'm buying the
Okay.
game tonight.
Okay.
I know,
okay.
right? I want to play this.
Okay.
I want to play this.
The opening scene is terrible. You're in this. You find yourself in this house. You don't know who exactly you are, but you have an idea. And basically, you have to collect, I'm guessing, 3 things on a pedestal. But the mechanics of the game. So the occurrences, the paranormal occurrences that happen in the house are random. So it really depends on your insanity. And your insanity level is affected by being in the light.
So every player gets a different view of this game.
Yeah, every player has a different experience.
Oh man, that's cool.
So, but like the main cutscenes and things like that in rooms are, of course, you go into it and everything's different. So if your insanity is high, the lights start flickering more, and if you don't pay attention to it, then it'll get even more dangerous, more frequent, and then something will come out and actually attack you. So
You can't
you have
defend
to
yourself.
no, you can't defend yourself. You have to manage your insanity. Emergency is pills to manage.
Did you just say pills? Did you just say
pills?
Like pharmaceuticals?
Yes.
Okay.
For crazy people.
All right.
Yes. Okay. And then if the lights go out and you're in the dark, when you're in the dark for just a little bit, your insanity increases like crazy. So if the lights flicker and they turn off, you better know where that light switch is, turn that shit back on so you can be in the light again. And if the light breaks, then you have to search somewhere in the house for a light bulb to fix it. And here's the thing. Your resources are extremely limited. You don't have everything. So you can have a lighter and it'll run out of fuel. And if you use the lighter as your main source, it increases your insanity. So you can get to certain parts where in the beginning, you saw parts of it in the trailer of the beginning area. And basically, it is pretty bad. So
is this the game that you were talking about that people will not play at night because it's so frightening?
Yes, I would, but I'll scream and wake up, this one. But
I'm gonna play this game. I'm gonna play this game.
Okay, but here's the thing. It's atmospheric. So when you're walking, you don't, it's kind of like it recreates the feeling of you walking in your own home, not knowing. You don't ever know when a ghost is gonna knock something over or whatever, or what have you. You don't know. You can't predict things. It's not, there's a formula or there's okay, I can figure it out like with other games and try and beat it. No, the danger is always there and you have to manage it with the very little resources you have.
So if I played this game, the replay value of this game is what?
Being freaked out by different occurrences. I haven't beat the game yet. I played it today. Actually, but let me note something though. It is in early access, so there is still bugs with it. So some people may opt to wait to get the full release or do the early access portion. Now there is some debate, like what's the point of having early access game to a horror game? But I kind of see the difference now because I was playing last week. Went really far, was proud of myself for the first run. But because it's an early access, I had a glitch, and then I had to start the whole thing over again because something didn't spawn correctly. And it gets you to, and even though I played the game already, like that portion, or getting to the point that I left off, I was more anxious because I knew what could come out the corner. I was even more anxious. I kept looking at my door and freaking out and actually having to pause the game because in the first run, I never had to pause the game. But this time I was like, oh, hell no. You hear knock and like you're walking down a hall, you hear footsteps upstairs. You hear creaking. You hear voices. You hear crying, growling, everything. And it's all in your ears on high volume, no light, and it's just you.
So this, like the other game, anybody has early access. You don't have to do anything special to get early access.
No. With Steam, you just get the early pay for the early access and then play the game. Just download and play. And
I was just playing the Blood of the Patriots game. Oh my god, I was dying laughing. I'm trying not to laugh because George Bush does like a barrel roll like Blanca does, but as he's doing it, he's like war on terror. That's what he's saying is doing the roll. That shit is freaking hilarious. Oh my god.
Yeah, VR in this game would be monstrous.
Yeah, I'd say VR freaking out. It freaks me out just watching it the way it is.
George, you just don't like zombies in general, man. Anything like that.
I mean, I've played some horror games in the past, and I had the same problems with that. With the surround sound and everything, you could hear like Doom. Doom is a very freaky game, even though it has a lot of action in it too. But it's still kind of a freaky game.
Like even one of the what's it called? The Scott personality test. Where is it? I had it written down.
There was another game back in the day.
Watson Scott personality test is something that just recently came out, and I seen a playthrough of it. That the way it's laid out, it's psychological horror that actually successfully makes you paranoid that you're in danger, like physical in real life danger.
George, you have got to get some footage of her playing this and put it on Challenge Accepted because I want to see this. This looks really, really interesting.
I'm telling you, man, you gotta watch her. You gotta watch her on Twitch, and yeah, she's gonna start doing some shows for the channel as well. But the like I'm not a huge fan of Survivor games. Like I played Conan, and then when she put me on to Subnautica. Mm-hmm. When she first told me about it, I was like, yeah, that doesn't sound like that's for me. Then I saw her play the game, and then I was like, it's actually kind of fun watching her play the game. So it's entertaining. So this game here, I couldn't play it, but yeah, I'm probably watch you play it. Freak myself out watching you. So,
Barbara, Silent Hill is definitely creepy.
See, Silent Hill's another one. That's a freaky one.
But here's the thing, though, Silent Hill. That's the thing with horror games. If you break that barrier of that you can defend yourself and you can deflect what comes at you, then the horror element goes down.
Yeah.
Because what makes you scared, what makes someone feel actual terror is hopelessness. Yeah. And like with the game, what's it called? Layers of Fear. Yeah. Layers of Fear is a mind fuck. And actually, I want to play that thing again. I'm trying to figure out how to connect my PS4 to my computer so I can actually play that on stream, because Layers of Fear, it's kind of like basically a walking simulator, because no matter what you do, you'll get to the end of the game. But depending how you go about it is the ending that you'll get. So you can get different endings. So I'm guessing it's the same thing with this game, that the way you play it or how well you play it could affect and getting an ending, different endings. Just with like Silent Hill, you have different endings. So there is some replayability about it.
Yeah, George feels hopelessness every time he comes up against me in the pop-off.
Oh my God.
That's only because it smells so bad when you walk in the room. It scares me.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's nice.
Hey, don't worry, guys. That bill will be gone soon. I'll take it from you.
There you go. We got to do that team.
We got to do that. We got to do that tag team pop off. We got to finish working out the details of that.
Yep.
We got a venue, which is good. So now we're just working on getting the championship belts, and then we'll go from there.
Ariel, that was amazing. I'm serious. I thank you. I can't wait to. I'm gonna get off tonight and go. That sounded so bad.
Gonna get off tonight, huh? It's gonna be a fun time in your house.
I'm gonna go and figure out. Oh my God, I'm embarrassed.
You're gonna go and figure out how to get off. Wow, dude, that sounds
so embarrassing right now. Oh my God.
Just roll with it.
I love you, Calvin. You're lucky it's after 10 o'clock because we're in MC after hours right now. So,
I'm going to play this game. I'm really, really interested in this game.
I'll tell you one thing right now. One of my biggest complaints about the game, and because I'm not going to just praise it, I also have to give my complaints about it too, is fucking controls, man. The controls are so tedious or doesn't work correctly all the time. At least for me, there'll be sometimes I'm like, oh, I have two, lighters. I'm like trying to put this way. No, I wanted the camera, or no, I get the stupid candle, but I can't get something else. I'm like, that's the annoying part, the tediousness of the controls.
Captain Puerto Rico, unfortunately, is no longer with us due to technical difficulties. He's having internet down right now, or as I like to call it, he's too scared to face me, so he ran away.
He'll be back. We're talking about scary stuff, and somebody in the chat mentioned Halloween, and we will give away no spoilers, right, George?
Yes.
But who's seen Halloween? Because I'm going to see it. It was filmed right here in Charleston.
My God,
I have several friends who are in this movie, by the way, so I feel special, including from ages 8 and up that were in this movie. Just I had to throw that out there. So who's seen it?
Pretty good.
I've seen it.
You saw it?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
All right. Did you like it?
Yeah, you sound so enthused.
I know.
I know, right? I am, because it's just crazy because I know people that are in this movie, and I've been talking to them, and they've been telling me things.
You're the same age as Jamie Lee Curtis, aren't you?
You know what? Why do you always have to be such a dick? Oh my God, Seth. Oh my God. Yes, I am the same age as Jamie Lee Curtis.
Hey, you just as thin. That's all.
Love you, Calvin.
George, why do you let him do that to me?
I can't. I got to deal with this dick all day. All right, this is who he is.
Hey.
Oh my God. But back to Halloween. I saw in the chat who's seen it on the panel.
I've seen it.
Ariel?
Yeah, so what did you think about it, bro?
I haven't seen it, and nobody spoil anything.
Sergeant,
I will cut you.
Hey, can we please rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
You want me to score it?
8.5 with Lewis.
Score.
I didn't like it.
Nah.
I'll give it a 4.
Right.
Well, let me ask you this: you didn't like that one, or you don't like any of the Halloween movies?
No, I didn't like that one. The transitions seemed not organic. It was unorganic.
This is the first one that I've heard that somebody say they didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I grew up with horror movies like that. It was.
I love horror movies. I just didn't like this one.
No, like all the kids grew up, just watching Disney. Oh, this is, don't watch, any rated R stuff, or maybe, like cherry picking what they can watch. No, I was watching horror movies since I was a little kid, and I'm super excited to see this Halloween movie, and I'm gonna see it for my birthday.
When's your birthday?
And 24. So 2 days away.
2 days
my
away.
God.
Damn. That's what's up.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, yeah.
And then after I see that movie, I can celebrate by drinking copious amounts of mead, or, be disappointed and then drink a copious amount of mead.
Mead. I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Can you believe it? It's 10 o'clock, George, and we still haven't gotten through all the topics?
Actually, we did go through all the topics.
There was one more. Arrowverse.
Oh, the Superman one. Yeah, I skipped over that one only because I wanted to get to the video games already. We can talk about that now if you want to. So they're talking about Superman may get his own TV show on the Arrowverse, part of the CW.
Wait.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know how Superman's been making cameos?
Yeah, appearances on Supergirl. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was always wondering, like when they've been talking about this, does it even really make sense to have Superman on the CW when Supergirl basically fills that entire void?
I don't know.
I don't know. People still have a yearning. Yearning for Superman, especially now with Henry Cavill, departing from the whole Superman thing. People want
Wait a minute,
Superman.
he's not.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I heard it was on hold.
I know. No. From what I last heard of it, it was just a rumor, and he said, No, I'm still Superman or whatever.
I think he's not.
No rumor. It's a done deal.
He's gone.
He's gone. He's never ever coming
this is
back.
why I can't get attached to anything with DC, because where is the continuity? Just get a series, this little bubble, finish what's in that little bubble, and then go to the next one.
That's why I like the CW series, though, because the CW the CW shows they continue, they keep them going, and they all kind of work together.
But the guy that they have playing Superman and Supergirl, I don't like that dude, man. I never knew Superman had such a thick 5 o'clock shadow.
I like that Superman, man.
I like him too.
I need to look this guy up.
Ariel, I think you have an amazing point here because do you guys think that DC should just hang up the whole big screen thing and just stick to what they do best, TV shows and freaking anime? Because you don't think so?
Okay, here's the thing. I do like that. As I love Marvel and I like DC. I've always have, but I would love to see DC get its shit together. Like, just do it right. Just, if you're going to have different multiverse, fine, okay. But finish and keep it continuous in that multiverse. If there's a specific style, like, Suicide Squad and that neon and that, gangster feeling and things like that and, like, Hood, fine. Perfect. I want that.
Did you just say Hood?
Yes, Hood. I don't care.
I know George agrees with me on this one. They should have taken the dude that plays the Flash on the TV show and used him to be the Flash in the Justice League movie.
I would like that guy better.
So right now we got Arrow, we've got the Flash, we've got.
I don't like Ezra Miller as the Flash. The guy in the Justice League was bad.
We got Supergirl, we've got Batwoman who's coming, and we've got possibly Black Lightning, all coming to the Arrowverse.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I got so mad when they were saying, "Oh, Black Lightning's coming around." I'm like, first of all, I don't care if you're gonna have Black Lightning, you better have Static Shock.
Okay.
You better have Static Shock. Static Shock has more of an impact to, at least for, I guess, my generation, because they had the Static Shock cartoon in the 90s. In the 90s, you had Batman, Superman, and Static Shock. And they had crossovers with Batman and Superman. So it's kind of like, this nostalgia there. And, like, he was if you want to talk about positive, models and things like that, he was a black kid that was smart, had, even though he had a tragic passing away of his mother, they still in the show tackled so much, topics that were kind of taboo or serious. It's like, fuck Black Lightning, I want my Static Shock.
What is it with DC and killing people's moms?
Oh, they have
you
know what?
Jesus
Speaking
Christ.
of that, DC has such a bad rap for being really, like, abusive and just terrible to their ladies. Because I have here The Killing Joke. And what happened?
Yeah.
Everybody knows about The Killing Joke.
Hold on. In here, because this is the deluxe edition, it actually has an interview or snippet from the writer. And he said when he was thinking about making Barbara Gordon, paralyzed from, leg down, he went to the directors or, the ones who make the decision and was like, hey, I'm thinking about this. Should I, is it okay if I make this big change into the, in canon? And they said their response, he was literally said that their response was like, yeah, cripple that bitch. They didn't give two shits.
Are you serious?
They didn't give two shits.
Wait, are you saying what you're holding right now? Because I can run upstairs and get the same copy that you have. Are you saying that that's an interview in that right now?
And he said, I read it because he said that he actually regrets writing The Killing Joke because of how
you're talking about Alan Moore. You're talking about Alan Moore saying that he regretted writing The Killing Joke.
So it's in here.
Wow, I have that exact hard
read
copy.
It, or it's
I even just got the
hold on. It's page.
The Absolute Edition that they just released. I just got that from In Stock Trade in this week.
Hold on. It says, hold on. He said he actually regretted it because of its impact, like on violence against women. Because
okay, I got you.
So,
he regretted actually doing. Are you saying is Alan Moore the person that you're saying that regretted that? Because I'm gonna go read it. I did not read
hold
that.
on.
But are you saying Alan Moore is the person that said that?
1 second. I'm like skimming really fast. Shit, where is it? Because I didn't get it anywhere else. I got it from this book. Like I hadn't even known about it.
It is one of the definitive stories about how the Joker became the Joker and all that stuff, and it's one of the most traditionally accepted origins of the Joker. So I would really, I'm gonna go read that. But yeah,
where is it? Or maybe it's in the back. Hold on. It was definitely from here.
we kind of digress. I think we were talking about the DC.
Sorry.
It's all right.
I think we were talking about the DC universe and women.
It's in there.
Sorry about Superman and
getting involved. And I'll go back to doing that. I mean, you just got my interest that when you said that, because it is one of my favorite stories. This is the longest show we've done, right, George?
Just getting close to it.
It's getting close to it.
Sorry, I talk a lot.
Sorry, no, it's good.
It's my job.
It's good. Actually, I've enjoyed this show. I mean, this has been amazing. You've been awesome. The show has been awesome. Hey, Eric's back, by the way. Internet's back up.
I was cooking.
Back to talk shit to Seth.
Yeah, right.
He fell off.
Fuck you, Seth. Fuck you.
Wow.
He came in strong with that one.
Yeah, he did. He was coming in hot. Better watch what you say, or otherwise you're going to get gummed by Susan.
Ooh.
I can't wait to hear what this is after we go on here, because it sounds so inappropriate right now that whatever you guys are talking about.
When I think gummed, I think of a. Never mind, I'm not gonna say what I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like a lot of gum, dude, right? That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
It would be,
I'm like, it's like Oprah. You get gummed. Everybody gets gummed.
God. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't even want to ask.
We're gonna find out.
I guess.
Hey, did you guys talk about Venom last week? I'm sure you did. I know I wasn't here.
Did you see it?
I saw it.
What you think about it?
Okay, terrible movie, but I actually liked Venom.
Yes,
I liked him.
I think Venom and Tom Hardy are fine. Venom and Tom Hardy was the best part of the movie, which it should be because he is the main actor. But I thought that the movie altogether was kind of.
Like I like Venom. Yeah. I like Venom's voice. I like the personality. It just worked for me. There was a lot of cheese. There was a lot of issues with the story itself, but just when Venom was on the screen talking to him and just interacting with each other, like I was like, I'm all, it's all good. And I'm not going to mention the last part, which is a spoiler or whatever, the after credits scene.
I'm just going to wait till the Blu-ray now. It's been so long, I'm not going to go to see it at the theaters.
Well, they do the after credits scene, and it's just seeing the person that's playing the character with the whatchamacallit, a wig on. It just reminded me of Carrot Top. I just couldn't take it seriously. So that made me laugh.
I saw him. I saw was it Sideshow Marshall Bill or Sideshow Bob? Sideshow Bob. When I saw him, I was just like, "This is fucking Simpsons." I was like,
and then you got that.
Yeah.
There's gonna be carnage. I'm like, oh my god, like we're not retarded. We get it. You don't have to do that. But I don't blame Marvel. It's Sony, and it's okay. But overall, I love Venom as a character, and hopefully they can save him for the next movie and do something.
You know what?
I think what you're
talking about is a great segue.
You know what I love? You spoiling the movie for someone who hasn't seen it yet. So thank you.
Well, everybody knows that Carnage is going to show up. You know what I mean? Like that's just a given.
Hey, I know we're running out of time, but because you brought up Sony, you brought up Venom, Spider-Man, the whole thing. I got to do it. We talked about it early before we came on air. Craven, what the?
I'm not looking forward to that.
You don't know what's going on over there, man.
Movie.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Why would they do a Craven movie? Craven has never had his own series in a comic.
Because Sony is Craven for money.
Sergeant Funko, what do you think? What do you think, Sergeant Funko? I haven't heard from you in a while. What do you think about
what? So many things going on right now.
About Craven.
I don't know why he's getting his own movie either. That's stupid.
Why would he get his own movie? I mean, how and his whole existence, his entire existence, from his origin, is to go after Spider-Man. What else are you going to put in there? I mean, that is the dumbest thing, in my opinion, that Sony could do. Yeah. That is why they keep fucking shit up, and I have not dropped the F-bomb in a long time. They keep
you did it last hour, I believe.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, hey, I get one.
But here's the thing, though.
I have a counter. I have Calvin's counter right here of F-drums.
I get one.
Like the Captain America thing when he curses,
Why would they do that? That
language.
Is the dumbest movie ever.
I don't know why they would give him his own movie because, yes, as you mentioned, that's his sole purpose is to get the greatest kill or get the greatest hunt.
Which is Spider-Man.
Which is Spider-Man because, obviously he's Spider-Man. But I personally, when I used to watch, the animated series of Spider-Man, I loved Craven. I love him so much. But
She was craving some craving.
being,
What is it? The
yeah,
animalistic, whatever.
it's his fur.
It's muy macho.
It's animal pheromone.
All right, it is so getting late right now.
Within.
And I see George keeps looking at his watch because Candy.
Yo, I'm looking at my watch.
What the fuck are you doing right now?
It's the downside to these Apple Watches. You have it tied to your mobile devices. Every freaking text message and notification gets buzzed into my head.
I'm assuming those text messages and notifications are coming from downstairs from Candy, right?
What you doing?
Not making any statements there.
I will neither deny or
my
confirm
wife.
those
She
allegations.
is
I
the
love my
best
wife.
individual. She is my best friend.
That wasn't a bad movie, actually.
But no, I really think that they should really develop the Spider-Man verse with the Homecoming. And I know some people are like, oh, I don't like the Spider-Man Tom Holland, but it's done better than. Okay, hold on. I know I'm gonna piss a lot of people off right now.
Okay, but
Tobey Maguire.
I knew it.
For Spider-Man, not my Spider-Man, because he was so mopey, he was so emo, and they just ruined him in the third one.
He says, didn't do it for you.
Are you kidding me? That was the third one. Was the best one when he's dancing on the street.
Best one. You're off on that.
That was the best one.
That was the best one.
Well,
I'm hating on his.
I don't agree with second one. But Tobey Maguire part 1 and part 2.
I'm gonna have to disagree.
I think he may be looking at Tobey Maguire.
Spider-Man 2 was the best two Spider-Man.
Hold on.
I think she may be looking at Tobey in a different light than you're looking at Tobey. Okay,
here's the thing, because and it's also a nostalgia thing for
Tobey.
Because he's the first. But here's the thing, my Spider-Man, even though before he became Spider-Man, he wasn't mopey, he wasn't emo. Yeah, he was bullied, but he would give you a smart, a quip. He would come, he would tell you you're an idiot, but still get punched in the face and still call you an idiot afterwards. So even though he was quick, he had a sharp tongue, he was quick-witted, he was chit-chatting all the time, and yes, he had some down moments too, but he was also dopey. He was a kid. Tobey Maguire, I'm sorry. I don't care, how Hollywood does it. That mofo ain't a kid. That mofo is in his 30s. So that don't fly with me. And he was just so mopey.
I'm totally gonna go left here. Hey, Sergeant and Sev, did they ever make a Funko of Tobey?
No, they made Funkos of Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
So there's no Tobey.
And the Tom Holland. There is.
So that determines whether or not Tobey was a good Spider-Man or not.
There's no Tobey.
That is so not
Here's
true.
the thing, though, too.
If Funko didn't think it was important enough, it is not important, guys.
Yeah. So
Tobey,
this is also the thing. That's why I like. Okay, and then you have Garfield or whatever. I forgot how to pronounce his name. But
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, him. He was too suave. He wasn't dopey enough. Sure, he had some little moments, but he was too, charismatic too, he was too charismatic. I mean, there's a difference between quick-witted and witty, and then charismatic. Although witty is in that spectrum of charismatic, but he portrayed him like he had no problem with getting Gwen Stacy. But Spider-Man, even though he is incredibly smart and intelligent, he still was a dopey kid, but talked a lot, which is why I like Tom Holland the best, because he is a actual teenager. 2, he is quick, chit-chatty, smart, and has, and naive. That's the biggest thing.
Hey, John in the chat, John Medina said Tobey's my least favorite as well.
Fuck you, John.
I'm just saying. Hey, Eric, Eric is my guy. I love Eric. But the thing is, if Funko did not decide to do a Tobey Maguire figure, it is not that big.
You're going to be seeing these pics next week, but they're Tobey Maguire 1.0. Nobody's seen this yet. I made that.
I'm just saying.
Tobey!
Homecoming was my least favorite Spider-Man movie. I couldn't stand that movie. Still can't watch that movie in its entirety.
But you know what? Like, what really took it home to me,
What took it for me, Homecoming was.
But one of the biggest or moments in that movie that I appreciated or that they showed, even though he was trying, he's like, yes, I want to be like you. I want to be an Avenger, this and that. And him being so eager, but he's still not knowing the stakes. Him not knowing, I mean, he had his loss of his uncle. Yes, that's a personal loss, but not an innocent bystander loss.
Hey,
Not,
you know what?
he hadn't. Yeah, exactly. He hadn't gotten into the shit yet. And when he's actually dealing with the Vulture and it's real crime, real danger, real stakes, it changes him. But when he was in that building under all that concrete and all that rubble, he started freaking out. He started crying. So it's the kid in him that's like, okay, I can't be a kid anymore. I have to really be serious. I actually have to believe in myself and do this. You see his emotional growth. That is what I appreciate.
Do you know
what I see in Spider-Man.
You know what Spider-Man's favorite rice is? Uncle Ben's.
Uncle.
Oh my God! on that note, hey, at some point it's 10:30. It's 10:30.
All right.
George,
Way past our bedtimes.
All right. So while we're here, before we go, please help my man Sergeant Funko out. Escalate him to 8,000. Escalate him to 8,000, and then also go on his Instagram and help him decide on where he's gonna go for Christmas break. Where he's gonna go
losing, man. New York is losing.
It's between New York and California, so go on his Instagram and vote and help him.
Oh,
California, man. Fuck.
Hey, Sergeant, man, it was a pleasure, man. It's first time.
The pleasure being here too, man.
Yeah, man.
Really
Thanks for
awesome.
being on the
Really
show.
awesome.
And we got to give big round of applause here to Ariel. That was awesome. Coming through great.
You brought the
awesome
noise.
job. You're gonna be on the show forever and ever. So
thank you so much.
Please shout out again to her Twitch channel. What is that? I think it's
Ass Kikin
Unicorn on Twitch.
We got people in the chat saying she's the best. George, bring her back more often.
Yeah,
Ariel is amazing.
Oh, thank you, loves.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So
play some more Visage tomorrow. Oh God.
Yeah, definitely.
Tune in tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow morning. Tune in tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock
for his What's Poppin' show.
What's poppin'? We went to Disney for our Disney vacation. Huh? I broke the AC. Yes, I broke the AC.
What'd you do to it? Don't go down. No. There's a whole nother story behind that. Let's go. No, we're not going down that road.
All right, guys. You can catch all of our videos at mcecentral.com, as well as a wealth of information on collecting movies, video games, and all kinds of other geek stuff, is because that's what we like talking about. And you can catch That Geek Show every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the MCE YouTube channel. So definitely check us out next Monday. We're going to come back at you with another episode. So until next time, guys, keep it marvelous.
Keep it marvelous.
What's popping?
Going down, Seth.
What's popping? Oh, my God.
Fallout. That's right. Fallout.
Collecting on a budget. Hey, the next episode is going to be this week on MCE. You're going to love it.
Spam.
I love it. It's awesome. Spam.
Tomorrow morning, I'm going to take Instagram videos of me walking by George's desk. Keep it marvelous.
As long as you got clothes on, I don't think George would care.
All right, we done? All right, we're done.
Good night, lovely.
I think so.
Bye.